Did you
The One Piece is real.
The One Piece. The One Piece. The One Piece.
Dude,
the One Piece is real.
That meme has been like, I'm so happy it finally blew up.
Finally cracked.
Because
yeah.
Hartvigan in my DMs has been fucking berating me with this meme.
Is in your DMs too?
He's been DMing. No, it's been like ever after AX, after like Anime Expo. This motherfucker has been constantly doing. Him and like Blue Eyes, who's like another YouTuber, keeps spamming me with these fucking One Piece cock edits, and then finally it finally blows up, and it's like on like all over TikTok.
It's like it's I was about to make a COVID joke, but it's like I was like, oh, too soon, but like it's been over 2 years.
Yeah, we can joke about COVID. There's only people are.
No,
dying,
I was just like it just leaked from the lab or whatever.
Yeah,
it's an outbreak.
It spread like wildfire because well, I knew it was blowing up, that meme, when I saw it on my TikTok. I'm like, oh fuck, okay.
Oh no,
it's over.
Right. That's the sensitive population.
Yeah. It's toxic. It's a toxic breeding ground. But no, I think that's a pretty solid, I guess, introduction. Welcome back to Pissed Pirates. We're not pissed at One Piece. We're pissed at you guys, I guess.
Oh yeah, we're pissed.
I'm pretty angry.
Yeah. Jack, why the fuck did One Piece fans think that Yamato was going to join the crew?
Dude, it was gonna happen, okay? People thought it because Luffy's like, join the crew, bitch, and then.
Did he say that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Damn.
that's why people thought. Did you not know that?
No, I mean, I'm selected. Yeah, I'm that technically not cut up, so
Oh yeah.
No, but
people. It was the most viable like theory. I think.
Oh, I remember.
Like, as of recent time,
I think that on the podcast we were just like, yeah, congratulations, because like it was so obvious, right? The way it was being worded and stuff. But also, I remember like months ago, or even over a year ago or something, where like there was this leak, not a leak I guess, but there was some promotional thing where there was a bunch of towels that had the straw hats on it.
Okay.
And it had all of the straw hats and Yamato. And so people were like, that they're leaking, that they're giving it away. He gets on the crew.
I feel like there's so many moments of that.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many moments of like a cover page or something where it has like certain
inside
animals
and outside the show. Yeah.
Yeah, people theorize, like, go take that shit like as canon, like completely. No grains of salt like taken at all. It is completely canon. I was kind of happy Yamato didn't join. To be honest, I was.
Yeah, that makes sense. It completely makes sense.
I was like, Jinbei's enough already. Like,
especially his logic, right? Especially like Yamato of just like, that I want to be like Odin, and this is what Odin did before he set sail or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. And obviously haven't read, I haven't experienced Wano proper, but it seemed out through the little bits I've seen, it does seem like Yamato only really interacts with Luffy and maybe one or two other Straw Hats, but it doesn't seem like Yamato makes a big enough impression on the crew as a whole, which is different from every other crew member, I think. Yeah,
no, for sure. Yeah, like all the other crew members kind of teamed up as they went along.
Like, there for those big moments and stuff.
Exactly. Yamato. Well, I think Wano's just so specific in comparison. You can't really compare it to any arc pre-time skip because of how big in scale it is. The crew is not together, like, at all.
Lot of it.
Well, they're at like these undisclosed locations in this tower that you can't make up because Oda is not describing the setting properly. So
he's not making a map at the beginning of every episode. It's just like Dresrosa or Alabasta. All the way back in Alabasta, they were doing that. They would show, and it wasn't all that necessary. Not like in a bad way. I was like, oh, that's unnecessary. It was more just like, okay, I guess that's nice, but like, I think it's just needed. I can follow.
It's a bit of a headache.
I can follow it, but like, I mean, that's true. I remember before getting into One Piece, being pretty cynical and like, that I've been hearing problems about Oda's manga too, kind of twisting the knife a little bit on like manga onlys. You know what I mean?
You cynical fuck.
Oh yeah,
Manga onlys.
I really just like I'm evil. I could be a real bitch. Like
Shaybs is a devious boy, bro.
I especially like before I really mellowed out, like before college, like while I was in college. I was this really like insufferable cunt. I think.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, but also, and even just like
really elitist. Like, is that what you?
Elitist, yes, and that wasn't even the whole LGH thing either. It was, I was just like how I ended up being, and then I don't know. I decided I'd hire Stan. I don't know what it was specifically that developed me that way, but then I was able to encounter media that just really struck with me on a personal level that wasn't simply this is objectively good or just fairly well crafted or anything.
Yeah.
And being able to transcend that I was able. It's like that bell curve, that like the little like average anime fan, and then the middle is like the most people are like the elitists and shit like that, and they're all like yeah, and then the other side is just like it's great. It's all really good.
It's all good shit, man.
It's like you've
reached enlightenment, bro.
It's enlightenment, literally that. Yeah, and it feels fucking great, and I'm very happy that I was able to experience not just One Piece, but all of the big three past that point when past when I'm able to just enjoy things, Yeah,
you're just a chill adult. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Exactly.
I feel you.
It's so nice.
No, it's because when I tried watching like Naruto and like Bleach in like high school and stuff, like after I watched One Piece, I was definitely like I used to be even more cynical than I am now. Like I feel like I'm a pretty cynical guy a lot of the time.
Sure,
like pretty critical of a lot of things. But in high school, I was like probably an insufferable cunt is a pretty good term to use, kind of like you. But it was like watching Naruto. I just not even giving it like the light of day with the character, just because I found him like frustrating or just annoying. Yeah. Because I think it's that midpoint where it's like I'm not a kid who kind of relates to this character.
Right.
And I'm not like an adult who can like reflect back on my like childhood self and be like, oh, that's kind of how I was like. I was at this point where I'm like, this kid's annoying. I'm better. I'm better than him.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And it actually reminds me of this video I just watched today. It's unlisted right now. He sent it to me like an advanced copy. He just wanted my thoughts on it. But this guy Ian Waffles.
He's the go.
Yeah, he made this Kingdom Hearts 2 video, and it's super wholesome.
Yeah,
it's
he's
just
a really
like,
wholesome guy. Very nice guy.
It really is just like, this is what I love about Kingdom Hearts 2. It's just really fun. Not like, I don't want to boil this point down to that, but it was just like, he talked about how everyone kind of complains about all the episodic stuff in Kingdom Hearts 2. I haven't played any of the games, but like, what I always heard about it was like the Organization 13, the plot stuff, and like the inner dark, the cool stuff really that a lot of people latch onto.
The cool stuff.
That kind of like that demographic, right?
Yeah,
that are in that like middle school to high school range. But then they don't latch on to like the Disney movie stuff where like, he's hanging out with Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, exactly.
and fucking Stitch and Chicken Little and like being genuine bros with like Hercules and shit. That shit's cringe, bro. Right?
But the thing is that's the majority of the game, and
right.
That's what people forget is that
you're
in these fucking Disney worlds for like the entire game. That's the game, bro. That's the
that's the game. And it's like it's supposed to be there because like those emotions are just supposed to endear you to the characters and make you feel like you have a good time, which is supposed to then contrast with the end of the game, which I feel like is what everyone remembers and stuff like that, and kind of contrast with that darkness stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it completely. I had never played the games, but like I thought it was a really great point. But I told him like everyone missed that because they all played it when they were in middle school and high school, right?
Yeah.
But it's not until you're like way past as an adult they're able to like they're friends and like Sora, Donald, and Goofy being friends is great.
It's like a core. It is a pretty core element to the story.
But people are just like, yeah, of course they're friends. They're
people
a
like
little
the
more
lore. People like the lore, dude.
Yeah.
They don't want to care about the simple stuff.
The world
but the song, simple. They forget that it's simple and clean. That's the song, and that's the story. Okay, that's the story. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, even just again with like, it was exactly the same my experience with One Piece. Of when I finally got to it, it's like, oh, no, it's just really fun. It's just like really like cheery and like I started fucking Zoe yesterday. Mm-hmm. I watched the chunk of Zoe that I had. So I'm up to the part where like a lot of it is told in flashback.
Yeah, it's an interesting little arc.
Which is it's a really cool device and an interesting dynamic that's contrasted with other arcs. But I'm at the part where it's pretty early on with the mammoth guy Jack.
Ooh, yeah.
He's facing the cat, the tiger master.
Neko Mamushi.
Yeah, like Viper or something.
Yeah.
He only just swapped out with the dog.
I love him. The cat guy, his Neko Mamushi.
He's cool.
He is so funny.
He's cool.
I don't know his voice in the anime, but he's very very energetic.
His say is really good.
Yeah, you kind of reached the point in the anime when I stopped watching completely. I don't think I watched. I think I watched like the first couple episodes of Zoe, but
So then you saw you saw the episode where they're it's pretty. I think almost the whole episode, not all of it really, but like a good chunk of it is them climbing up the elephant using Ryunosuke, and they're all like cheering for him, and like Luffy falls off at one point, and they're like cheering, and Robin is constantly just like, he's so cute, and then they're just climbing, and he like quote unquote dies. It's like, oh, who says there's no deaths in One Piece?
To Ryunosuke, bro.
Like he turns back into a drawing, and they're like Ryunosuke, and so it's just like, cut it out, let's fucking go.
No, it's just like really, it's
so funny.
It's so funny.
Great. Yeah, and that like that's the fun stuff, right? It's not like not to say that the finding out that Whitebeard has a kid, quote unquote. Like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, yeah, all right, I believe it.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was
so sus. Like, come on, dude.
It's very interesting. I don't know. It's like it's hard to tell, man.
It would be funny if he was actually his son, but boy, is he really making you feel like that is not the case.
I don't know, man. Like these Yonko, man, I feel like they probably have a bunch of kids running around. Like Shanks has a daughter. Like the fucking
That's true.
Like they're fucking giant pirates. They're probably fucking everywhere, to be honest.
Yeah.
So they're probably spread thin like across all the seas, man.
Yeah, I could totally see Kaido having a kid, man. Oh yeah.
Oh,
totally.
Kaido probably has many kids. yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Just the alcoholic absent father, but It's,
but like I kind of glossed over that the last time we recorded, I had just finished Fishman Island.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And now I've seen Punk Hazard and Dresrosa.
Like the longest arc so far. Yeah. Let's talk about Dresrosa, dude.
It's technically not as long as Water 7. Because if you count Enies Lobby and Water 7 as one big arc,
well, it's not.
You're
like, adding a caveat on top of it. If you do something that isn't true, bro, they're 2 arcs.
I mean, I haven't looked.
If you count Punk Hazard and Dresrosa as one,
I don't know. I only just realized that the manga volumes have the arc on the manga volume. So like it's on there. So I don't remember if it says Water 7 during the Enies Lobby volumes or not.
I don't know, man.
I'm not sure. Suspicious.
I don't know. I think it says Enies Lobby, but
perhaps.
I think it is. But Dresrosa, longest arc so far, Shaybs.
Pretty damn
long. What did you
long,
think of the episodes,
long.
like the half episodes where they're just following pedestrians, like running away from?
Yeah.
What did you think of those episods? Did you enjoy them?
Yeah. So
did they put you in the moment? You're like, damn, I really feel like I don't want to be here.
I get it. No, not like that. They didn't make me feel like that. Because
it's interesting.
I was able to connect, and I can't remember specifically what flashback was able to do this. Maybe there's something that some One Piece fans have glossed over. I don't know what they did, but I do think they managed to make me understand that the citizens of Dresrosa are really important for this arc, more so than other times. Because, like, yeah, they've gone to an island and shit's gone astray, just like in Water 7, or definitely Alabasta, Skypiea, they were in danger, and stuff like that's happened a lot. So perhaps One Piece fans have probably taken it for granted. But this one, it was a lot more specific of like, oh, the citizens have gone through the shit, right?
Yeah.
They had a pretty good life. They didn't have much, but they were in really good states.
They were happy.
And they get absolutely bodied. They get totally betrayed and deceived and manipulated
and turned into toys. Used as slaves.
They'd never realize it, and that realization of just like when the toys get turned back, it's elating because it's a victory for the heroes, but it's also really dark because it's like, oh my god, we forgot. We had no idea how much we had been under his thumb and suffering and everything.
Under string, maybe.
Yeah, like under string. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so there was a lot of cutting back to specific citizens, and yeah, there could have been examples of just like, yeah, they cut to like 4 different scenarios of citizens running away, and I think it was the scene where like, you know, all of them are giving up in some shape or another, and then King Riku goes on the announcement thing and he's like, please don't give up. Like, I know we've been gone through absolute hell. We're in a birdcage now, but we've technically been in a birdcage for like 10 years this whole time. And it's just like, we have some people fighting and trying to win. Please just don't give up. And then it comes back to all 4 of those people being like, yeah, all right, we won't give up, and like, you know, doing all that stuff. And I get it from a story perspective, right?
Shaybs, I fully understand, and I agree with you in that aspect, the way you are describing it. But
like,
the way the anime it makes sense,
but it's just not entertaining.
It's
not engrossing. It doesn't keep your attention, especially if you're 30, 40 chapters ahead. Like, how I'd have to look back at like the dates of when these episodes aired versus when the chapters.
No, it was rough. It was like really bad.
But the gap is probably insane, and it's like, dude, get to it already, right?
The gap was like really like.
It's egregious. It's probably really. It's like, you don't need to stall this much.
No. It was pretty close.
Oh, it was close.
No. It's been this close. Like, that's why it's dragged out. That's why it.
No, I get that. I don't know.
It's pretty close.
The fact that we're on the final battle right now. Not the final. We just started the final arc, like 59 or 56 is when it started, I believe, or 50. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always been like
within the past 3 chapters, but then
it's 20 to 30 usually.
It's like 20 to 30. Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah.
Usually, but because when I caught up, because I was watching the anime weekly, and then I was like, I can't watch Dresrosa weekly. Like,
I get it. No, I completely. I wouldn't be able to either.
It was like the worst
thing
ever. Yeah.
No, so it was very easy for me to marathon them.
Yeah, but then I caught up to the manga. I thought it was good.
No,
it was
of course.
Yeah. It was.
The story is all still great. It really is. Even when it's stalling like that, it's still, because it's like, at least for me, I was able to get enjoyment out of it purely for being invested in the story in general, first of all, but also the technical merits of the show in terms of its sound design and music. And I really was getting the idea more and more. I may have mentioned it on a previous podcast, but I bet it's the music specifically that they're using to pace these series, to pace these scenes out, because they're like, okay, we're gonna play this track as this scene is happening. The track is this long, so we have to make the scene this long, even when you might not necessarily have to. I really want to check out One Piece because I don't want to check out.
Yeah, I've never looked at it. I've never watched One Piece, so I have no idea.
But like my roommate has been watching it and loved Dresrosa, of course. But he started about where I think in Punk Hazard he started with One Piece, and he said that.
Oh, so your roommate felt the.
Oh yeah, he had felt it in Fishman. Okay. And like I think I said it in the last podcast, I think I felt it in Water 7. and specifically Eni's lobby, actually, because there's that whole. It takes a lot. Like, I think the anime flashes back to this moment so often that it's hard to. It's easy to forget, but like, from the time that they get to Eni's lobby to when they get on the roof and they're all in the line, and
it is a
Robin
while.
Has her moment. It's a lot of time, and it's not a lot of interesting stuff that happens either.
Well, it's like the interesting stuff I feel is the giants coming in and helping.
Yes,
and
there's good moments. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed it, but it's a lot of getting to this gate, and I was feeling it because I know that moment was coming. I had been I knew about that moment through osmosis. Like, it's one of the most famous, popular points of the show, and it's by all reason it's a great moment, right?
Yeah.
So I know that happens. And I see where it's going to happen because obviously there's that big divide. It's a really cool setting. I know that's going to happen, and so waiting for that, not knowing what's going to happen next, I'm just like, oh, geez, they've been doing this for kind of a while. It's like, does it? And then you start to get to that like plot holy type of thing that you're trying to suspend your disbelief of like, come on, is it really 10 minutes? Oh, come on, is it really that far away? You know what I mean? It just seems impossible. But they're trying to pace it out so that certain moments of the story happen in the way they want it to.
Yeah, and in like an interesting way that isn't rushed.
Yeah, exactly.
He kind of takes his time with that. Yeah. I understand that. I definitely think. I think most people also agree that it kind of like the pacing slows down considerably.
No, it does.
Water 7. I mean, Fishman Island, Punk Hazard sort of thing. But
That's
I
where most
also
people are
didn't
noticing
notice
it,
it
yes.
while I was watching. So I can understand getting engrossed in the world and not even feeling it just because you're so invested in the story. Because I felt the same thing until I caught up. Like literally, I think it's One Piece kind of enraptures you in its world to where you're just I'm loving it. Like.
Well, you really want to know what happens next. You really want to see. By the way, maybe you could just give me a yes or no answer on this.
Okay.
I saw the scene. Burgess had made it to the Revolutionary Army's headquarters, and he's like, "Dude, I'm right here."
Spoilers.
And he's like, "Dude, I'm right here."
Dude, you just spoiled me. I have no idea. You just spoiled me. I didn't. I think this is spoilers.
You said you were caught up.
This is the new chapter that
Jack,
hasn't
we
come
started
out
this podcast saying Yamato joined the crew.
Shaybs, that is not in the new fucking chapter.
No,
bro.
but like you're saying Burgess is in the new chapter.
Burgess is not in 1058.
No. Not 59. I mean, no. I'm talking about the anime. There's a scene in the anime where Burgess radios.
You're talking about your place in the anime.
Like before Zoe. Like it happened recently. Yeah, it happened after Dressrosa.
Okay, yeah. What's your question?
Sabo,
I thought you were spoiling me now.
I would no. I was asking if that scene if that scene has been brought back up later.
Yeah. There's stuff that happens with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, they get. To
it's
that.
nothing
cool.
insane though. It's not.
No, of course. It's the same thing of like Ace and Blackbeard. It's literally like the one scene you get. You don't even get anything for Kizaru, not Kizaru. Aokiji versus
Akainu?
Akainu, yeah. Like you barely get anything of that, right?
You just see a flash.
It's one of those background things that like I feel like fans really make a big deal out of, and I knew about and I saw, and then when I get to the point in the show, it's like, wait, that's literally it.
Yeah, I'm like, it's
really?
just kind of the ripple effects of it kind of play, but it's like
exciting.
It's such a minuscule moment in like. Because I literally forgot about it. You mentioned it. I thought it was a new thing that occurred. Like, what? It was like so long ago. I haven't like reread Dresrosa like since it finished.
Yeah, it's technically Zoe.
Yeah, the Zoe stuff. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time. So it's
right. That's interesting.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh my god, it happened that long ago, type of deal. I was like, all the way back in this chapter.
Well, then you see the ripple effects.
I saw somebody tweet about how like Oda does retroactive foreshadowing, where he did something in an earlier.
It's called
chapter.
a retcon, bro.
Yeah, right. Well, other people call it a retcon, and it's like it's more.
That's the
more
funniest
like
thing ever.
Right, but it's also just like, no, that's cool. No, that like feels it feels satisfying for especially those people like Nate or whatever who have picked this story apart to fucking death.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like the food, yes.
Yes.
Good idea. Take a bite of my hot pot.
Yeah, no, it's like I understand like referring to it as a retcon, but like I'm thinking of certain like flashback moments, specifically like whenever it's Luffy training with Rayleigh, just getting those flashbacks, like whenever like a new form is sort of introduced, like Gear 4th, for example.
Right.
Like whenever that's first introduced, like he had to fight these certain animals on the island. I think like in that case, like a sort of retroactive like backstory kind of makes sense.
It reminded me of Gear 2nd. It reminded me exactly of Gear 2nd, where it was just like, I want to try something, and later on, and it's that one little thing of like, I want to try something. But then Gear 2nd comes out, and it's such a cool, different thing for it, like an obvious power up that it's like, wait, what the fuck? And it's surprising. And Gear 3rd is even more what the fuck, because he's like, oh, he's not down yet. All right, Gear 3rd, and they're like, what?
Yeah, Gear 3rd is just fucking bigger.
He almost does it. It's funny that he pretty much doesn't say Gear 3rd anymore. I noticed that he makes things bigger, but he doesn't call it Gear 3rd. It's interesting.
I guess it is interesting. I just think, I don't know, I think Gear 2nd is probably more useful just because you're kind of faster.
It is just cooler.
It's way cooler because it's like Gear 3rd is like, it's cool, but he's just bigger. Does that really make him that more powerful?
Especially the way it's inflated, right?
Yeah,
it's like, that's technically all air under there.
Yeah.
How much mass is he really gaining here?
Yeah, it's fucking.
That's fine
though.
I get it. I think it's an interesting idea. No, but yeah, Dresrosa, I liked it. The only reason I didn't like it as much as other arcs like Punk Hazard, I really liked Punk Hazard.
I love Punk Hazard. Yeah.
The reason is only because half the crew leaves, like a third of the way through.
Yeah, they kind of leave.
And I was like, oh, not like disappointed. Like that's cool, especially the way they go out. It's like, oh shit. I fucking love Big Mom's ship. It's like, that was so funny.
Yeah, Big Mom.
Especially when they flash back to it, it's like, oh, how did they escape that? And they have this whole like tag team thing, and they create a bunch of like fog to escape. Like they throw a bunch of like the cannonballs on the ship, and it's like food.
Yeah, what was the woman they were facing? She had like such a weird devil fruit too.
The art girl.
The art woman. I remember that.
Fun. That was a fun arc.
Yeah,
that
was a good time. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Just like, cause Sanji's not there, it's.
Well, yeah, and then like when I kind of knew about the whole Sanji thing about his connection to Whole Cake, and so when you see the ship, it's like, do you mind me taking care of this? He's like, yeah, go ahead. I thought he was gonna do something to like fight and distract them, and he wasn't even gonna go to Zoe. I thought it was gonna be something where like he just like holds them off while they escape, and then it's like, actually, I'm gonna stay here, kind of deal.
Okay. It was
I haven't quite got to the point where it's like the real reason he leaves. It's in the OP, technically, of just like the visual of him leaving. But that was a good moment. I really like how that's handled too, where it sounds like one of the members died, and then they say a corpse, and they're just talking about Brooke. But then it's like, no, but one of them really did leave, and it's really interesting. But they take it really well too.
Yeah, Whole Cake is pretty great. I think it. I don't want to spoil anything for you. I was just gonna start talking about it, but I thought it was pretty well handled, to be honest. The crew leaving halfway through Dresrosa.
Yes,
just because there are so many characters in that arc.
It works really well.
That they want to like flesh out, like the Grand Fleet characters and everything.
It absolutely makes sense, especially because like you can feel it because they give Franky, he's like, you're gonna be over here. Yeah,
Franky had a great. That's like Franky's best moment.
He has good moments, but he's very isolated from the whole everything else going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's just gotta fight this guy.
And then poor fucking Robin still doesn't get anything.
Yeah, Robin got like shafted. The fucking like, one-legged dude.
Barely anything.
Robin can create like infinite feet and like legs, and then a guy with one leg takes her fucking place. Like let her fight.
I was very happy that he's the one, that Kyros is the guy that beats Diamante.
No, it was
very.
Yeah, it was very cathartic for sure. No,
It's cathartic, but also just really aesthetic. You know, like this night and the I love Diamante's design, and then having that in that flower field is like, it was a really good fight.
Oh yeah, how'd you feel about the Sabo stuff?
Yeah, good. I think it was like really, it was especially fun to hear from my roommate, because I also did kind of know about that this is the arc where he shows up.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know precisely how, and it is really fun and cool how very spontaneous it is, because it's like, oh, we're just doing this now. We're doing this now too.
Oh, he's here. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of other stuff that was already introduced, like Bellamy's back, and I think they also showed Burgess by that point.
Yeah,
and then they throw Sabo in, and it's like, oh my god, everyone's here. Oh, obviously the new admiral's there. You know,
yeah, Fujitora. He's so good, man.
He gets a very good moment at the end. I really like his last encounter with Luffy, and all of that stuff. It was really, especially because like he really takes a back seat, which makes sense with his logic and like what he was, you know. I really like his perspective.
Yeah,
on, like,
you can really
relationship to the people and the government and everything.
Yeah, he's such a grounded perspective on the world. I feel like as compared to like almost any other Marine we've seen. Like even more people who have like had more experience, like Smoker. Like Smoker's still like anti-pirate, I think, a lot of the time.
Sure. Well, I think Smoker, as well as Garp, and even probably Sengoku, actually, they all get that the Navy has problems.
Yeah,
but like
for sure.
Because Fujitora is new, and he always brightens up that he's like, I'm new to all this stuff, but like, dude, this shit's fucked up. You know, like he's able to have that voice, especially for how old he is.
Oh,
you know, his reason for being blind, and then like contrasting it is just like, I wish I didn't blind myself. I wonder what you look like. It's like,
yeah,
oh, damn.
That was such a sweet moment.
Great.
My god, it was too good. I loved him. He was such a shining like part of it. No, because you're mentioning all these things. It's like Bellamy is there, fucking Jesus Burgess is in the fucking background.
The tournament was fantastic.
Yeah,
the whole tournament aspect, and Lucy is so funny. It felt like a tribute to Master Roshi, to be honest with you.
The old man sort of thing.
Right,
yeah.
Well, just his beard and the style, but also just his attitude and stuff. And
yeah, his like voice he puts on, like.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's I thought it was such a good part, because it's such a Luffy thing to do, to just like in the middle of this like espionage like sort of mission they're trying to get through, he just enters a giant fighting tournament while everyone else is busy doing like actually trying to figure stuff out.
And just the way they split up initially is really interesting. And like, you don't know what's going to happen, right? And you don't know how this is going to unfold. I think it really is that point of when the toys are disabled, or the spell's broken, basically. Where it really gets a lot more linear, and
everything kind of comes together.
Yeah, I struggle to say formulaic because it sounds like a bad thing, but it really isn't. It just makes it like a strong driving force. Yeah, because that Doflamingo is finally taking significant action. But it was really interesting that like he didn't really take that immediate action right away. He was very like, as much as he blames his subordinates and then also just the cunningness of the Straw Hats in the law and everything, he really didn't do a lot. You know, he did underestimate them.
Oh, for sure.
He really thought that like the Aegis Zero stuff, where he says he quits the warlords, but he actually didn't. And their realization of that, and it's like, oh shit, this is a trap. He really felt cocky. And he's just like, yeah, I can do what I want.
His ego is just so inflated. He is. Yeah. What did you think of Doflamingo? Because I know he's pretty. I feel like universally acclaimed, but there's like a small like niche group, I feel like, within the fandom that is like very critical of Doflamingo.
I think the people who are critical are just trying to be critical in general.
I think he's like one of the best villains for sure.
He's certainly a strong villain. In terms of like, not just in terms physically, but also just like as an opposing force, it's really compelling. Oh, dude is just evil, though.
He is just evil. Like, he is as a child.
Evil. like just, and the whole thing where he says to Law, he's just like, yeah, I don't really care if I'm a pirate or fucking celestial dragon or the underground boss, or I really don't care. I just want the world to be destroyed. I want to destroy, not even control or rule the world. Like, it seems like with his, like, you know, at first his, like, puppet, you know, pulling the strings, and he's this mastermind and everything. When he just goes mask off and he's just like, no, I just want to fucking destroy everything. And it's just like, oh.
Because you think there's, like, some form of...
Yeah, there's a like, motivation.
Reasoning.
Yeah.
But, like... But the motivation is like...
It's not a motivation. It's a nature.
It's a nature.
And that's what... And he acts like a force of nature. You know?
Yeah.
As cunning and, like, you know...
He's a flamingo, dude.
As he is... I guess.
Flamingos are evil like that? Shrug, Jack? What was that? Okay.
Yeah. Flamingo, yeah. But... No, but, I get what people maybe... I was about to say. I get why people relate to him.
What? Relate to who?
I don't know.
Who is relating to him?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I was just thinking, just like, there's some people that really like Doflamingo, and it's like, all right.
He's got a cool vibe. Like his outfit is just fire. Like his coat.
Cool, yeah, but he's so evil.
Yeah, he's really evil.
Despicable kind of deal, and it like certainly not in a way that's like I don't think he's not Celestial Dragon's bad, but although
really
he is a Celestial Dragon. No, Celestial Dragon makes you just be like, actually fuck this piece of shit. I'm not enthused. I'm not amused. Go to hell. You know,
but it's like
you don't feel that way about Doflamingo, but
I do.
Yeah.
Well, because he also has slaves. Like he just like.
He is a celestial dragon.
He is
by
one.
nature a celestial. Like they were like the way Rocinante is just like I really don't know what happened to him. He is just evil. You know.
Yeah.
The way he talks about him.
Yeah.
I can understand. He's a celestial dragon, but he just gets powers, and gets like world weary. You know, because the thing about the celestial dragons, right? They have that attitude, and the superiority complex. But they don't understand the world because they're sheltered.
Yeah, completely ignorant.
They don't have the tact or sharpness, because obvious, like in Fishman Island, the guy, or Sabity, not Fishman, in Sabity when the Celestial Dragon shoots Hachi, it's so stupid of him. Like that's actually a foolish move, but that's how big his hubris is. He genuinely thinks that nothing's going to happen, and like that's fine. He just shoots someone in the middle of the street, you know. But also because other people got away with it. Other Celestial Dragons have gotten away with the same shit.
Yeah, but creates a precedent in his fucking head. He's like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, and he takes pride in it. He's like, yeah, I did it. I shot the guy. Look at me. You know, he actually like took some action, which is so counter to like Celestial Dragons who kind of force everyone to do everything else, right? So him taking his own action was actually a sense of empowerment for him. But he just has such hubris to think that he can just shoot someone like that in front of all these other people, including Luffy, and then it completely well deserved from Luffy of just like the fucking punch.
Oh,
and
for
everything.
sure.
You know, so Doflamingo has the same exact ego. He's a Celestial Dragon, but he has a devil fruit, and he has like the years, like literally like since being a kid, of running this crime syndicate and trying to destroy it and having this hatred and destroying the world. So he has like all this years of experience and the capability of doing it.
Yeah, just like his manipulation tactics are just like literally because he can just mind control people and like control their bodies and stuff.
Well,
so
thankfully not mind control, which was really compelling. I do like that every time he controls somebody, it's very like, oh, my body. You know, they're very much always just like, oh, stop me, help, or whatever. Instead of just like being a zombie and like, or something like that. That's fun, especially when he controls like Bellamy and stuff, because he's a fucking mess when he gets, you know. He's like, oh, kill
Bellamy's
me!
Bellamy is a fucking mess, dude.
Yeah, he goes through the worst. He gets through so much.
The character arc, though, you know.
Yeah, it's good, and I like
good.
that. You know, he releases it. He's like, no, I really have to. I still have to try to beat you. I have to do this right. You know, it really makes sense.
It only makes sense. No, I like the inclusion of Bellamy. Just like for those longtime readers, man. We remember him. We remember that,
exactly.
that asshole.
It's that
asshole.
And like I did realize this when I was in Jaya and introduced to him and everything, because he has the same voice actor, but the voice actor that plays him is like one of my favorites. He plays Obito in Naruto.
Okay.
Like one of the major villains.
Yeah, I know of Obito. Yeah.
Yeah, he also plays Okuyasu in JoJo Part 4.
Oh, really?
And he also plays Onizuka in Great Teacher Onizuka.
Ah,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. So he has
that kind of makes sense.
I knew his background. I knew his background as like a comedy guy because I liked him in Onizuka, JoJo, as well as Ippo. He plays like one of Ippo's closer friends that's also a boxer, and he has like this. He has the move. He's the character that has the Aoki. He has the move where, if you've never seen Ippo, like the character looks stunned and he kind of freezes in place, and it kind of like weirds the boxer out, and then he plays
Aoki.
Yeah,
I love him.
He slowly looks to the left, and then that makes the other character look to the left, and that's the he kind of tricks him into getting a sucker punch out of him, and it's really funny.
Yeah, I watched like the first 20 episodes of Ippo, and I was like loving it, but
it's great.
I just haven't got back to it.
No, I feel you. But yeah, so like I know him for that, but he is such it's so cool, his dynamic where he's able to play like these goofy characters, but then his raspy voice is able to turn like really evil, and so like him playing Bellamy was just like, oh my god, this fucking asshole, and like he has the full confidence and everything, and
yeah,
only when Luffy finally nails a punch on him does he get his shit kicked in, but everything else he's just this chewing scenery like hyena, right?
Yeah, complete dickhead.
Yeah, and then like able to turn that even further in Dresrosa into being like kind of cool but also really pathetic. It's it's incredible. I love seiyus who are able to be so and most of them are. That's the really cool thing, is like so many seiyus, you look them up and it's like, wait, they play this one and this other character? It's like I didn't even realize, because their voices sound so different, or their characters are so different, you know? Mm-hmm. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, I do like One Piece a lot for, obviously the sound. I've talked about the sound of the music and everything, and I want to make a video about it. But then, yeah, it's like the way One Piece is able to have such this big cast, and it uses it as an excuse to have literally every famous seiyu ever voicing a character in it, and it's like, oh, he plays that guy, and like giving in Dresrosa, right? Adult Sabo is voiced by Toru Furuta, who plays Amuro Ray, the main character in Mobile Suit Gundam.
Okay.
As well as Tuxedo Mask and Saint Seiya, the main character, Seiya. And he's been in the business literally since like Star of the Giants in like the 60s.
Just like long as fuck. Damn.
Yeah, and he's like old. He's like one of those voice actors who are like actually really old, but somehow he's able to have a really young, like his voice hasn't changed.
It's crazy.
It's fucking nuts. Yeah.
I had no idea. That's very talented. What the hell?
Oh yeah. Oh my god. And it's so funny. I only remember his name as Roshinante, but it's
Rosinante.
Corazon. Corazon, yeah. For some reason, I never remember him as named Corazon. But Corazon is voiced by Koichi Yamadera, I believe, who plays Spike Spiegel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and other things like that, right? Like that sort of world and everything. And especially if you've seen a lot of anime, right? Like getting those, you get a deeper understanding of it, and it feels like that. It feels synergistic. It feels like almost like, oh, I'm almost kind of like watching this other show, because it's their voice. You know what I mean? It's really weird.
Well, it's like the biggest one, so it's like they can get anything they want. Like they can.
Yeah, exactly.
They have that reign to get like all these iconic voice actors together to play these like interesting characters, because there's so many. I just think Dresrosa is like, I feel like compared to like almost any other arc, it's so full of like interesting and engaging like new characters.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Bartolomeo yet.
Like it's like I like Wano a lot, but I think a lot of the characters I don't really like connect with.
I get that.
In comparison to Dresrosa, it's like all the side characters, like even like Doflamingo's like main crew are like so memorable and funny. Like,
oh my god, yeah,
it's
fucking
so well done.
Fucking Treble, especially in the anime, is so funny.
He's so gross.
Yeah. Hey, do you want no toffee?
He is a disgusting.
Is awesome.
He is disgusting, especially in the anime. Like his voice is like it reflects the character so well.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my god, he is terrible.
Diamante's funny. Diamante also just looks like Steven Tyler.
Yeah, he does look like Steven Tyler.
The lead fucking singer of Aerosmith.
So
good.
Steven Tyler. It does.
He was pretty OP too. He had really cool powers.
Yeah, Diamante. He was interesting. I liked Senior Pink, obviously the GOAT.
Yeah, Senior Pink. Yeah.
Senior Pink. His backstory. Everyone loves that one.
It's so because I knew about that, especially because I had seen the Eye Patch Wolf video, and I think he gives like a little brief section about Senior Pink specifically. But like at the same time, I don't know. I have to look back at his video again. I don't know if he really brought up the fact that he was always like that. Like he always acted really cool. Actually, like it was really interesting because like obviously his design is ridiculous, but then when he opens his mouth and like he's actually really cool and says kind of insightful, cool things. It's like, yeah, he's actually pretty badass. And so I was already convinced of his whole shtick, and then the flashback happened, and then from there it was sort of like, oh yeah,
I'm like, damn, he's cool, and he has a reason for looking, and sympathetic, exactly,
right,
like his stupid ass.
It was
outfit.
cool,
Like,
yeah, and that, I mean, I'd have to look at the manga again, but like. I was getting the vibe that, like, watching those episodes, that I don't know how long the manga spent on that flashback. I think if people
it's not that long. Really, it's not that long.
That's the thing, right? It's probably one chapter. I probably get it, but like the anime, it's 2 episodes. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, granted, it's like the whole fight. So like the flashback ends up happening kind of like in the middle of the first
within the fight,
the first one, and it kind of bleeds over into the next half of the episode, like the other.
Yeah, episode. I think it's like 1 or 2 chapters.
It's like 2, and then the chapters probably were paced the same way because the anime seems very like chapter by chapter, like pretty faithful in that way, in that regard. That was making me realize of just also other news since the last time we talked. And I don't know if you saw the tweet or anything, but I bought the first volume of the manga.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I found it. I was on vacation in Maine, 2 weeks ago, and we went to a bookstore, and they had like the first 5 volumes of One Piece, and then the last 3 or 4 volumes.
Okay.
So like they had like volume 94. I don't remember which one it was, but like I actually picked it because I actually was like, I wonder if they have the volume where it shows Roger just laughed, so I could like see it in print, and they did.
Cool.
I did find it. So I was like, oh, that's cool. Although I was surprised. I was kind of picturing it in my head that happens at the end of the volume. But it happens like maybe a third or halfway through the volume.
So you're like flipping through in the bookstore? Like...
I was looking through for that.
Yeah, you're searching. Where the fuck is this pirate?
Yeah, where's the infamous panel? Like the really famous panel. Where is that shit? Right?
No, yeah.
Which is,
do you have any other volumes? You just bought the first one?
I just bought the first one, and because I thought it'd be, it's the memorable of like, oh, I bought this first volume here kind of deal.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or maybe they didn't have volume 2. I don't remember. I was like, I want to buy them individually because I know if I bought the big 50 volume crate, that they sell, I would never read it. I would never get to those volumes. Right? It would just be kind of like a weight on my shelf.
I kind of just like want to have that though. You know what I mean?
No,
I want to own all of it.
That's what I'm saying. I want to own all of it, but I also want to read all of them. I want to appreciate. Like I opened the first volume and was like really appreciating the author's note and the like some of the things. Like I think let me go grab it for a second. Let me read the author's note because it is kind of humble. It's because it was printed like when the first volume had come out and everything.
Oh, okay.
So, hold
Waiting
on.
for shit.
You could have said anything else.
Waiting for shit.
No, okay. So, Eiichiro Oda, 1997. I've been gathering and reading a bunch of reference materials to do this pirate story. However, the pirates that I admired so much in my youth hardly ever left written records of their history. I guess they were just too busy having fun with their own adventures, and they forgot to leave their stories for future generations. That's just the trouble with those damned pirates.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm like, that's fucking raw, dude. That's fucking Kino raw
cool.
swag. Like, so I may as well do it for him. Because it's true. Luffy would never have written any of this down. Roger didn't write any of it down. You know? And so it's like, and
it's just,
but it's, oh my God, it's so cool.
Just living
and like,
in that moment, not like
like
stopping
the image is like him
to
with
chronicle
an alien
it,
mask.
right?
Yeah.
No, it's there's something about that, just kind of, you know, not taking pictures or not like writing stuff down for a moment, just living in a memory. I think One Piece kind of captures that, like, completely.
No, absolutely does. Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle sort of thing.
Right.
It's I also have the first volume. I have like such a sporadic, like I own like
like a couple volumes of stuff.
Yeah, so because when I caught up, I got like the first volume. I have like a couple of like, I think I have like some post-war, like the post-war volumes, and
New
then
World.
I have just the after what's it called?
After
Marineford, and then I have Dresrosa volumes. It's like
interesting.
Yeah, it's like the but then I just stopped buying them because I'm like, fuck. I'm just like,
I have no money.
don't want to spend the money.
No, right. And it will be way more expensive for me to buy the individual volumes. Right?
Oh,
because like
so.
because the box is obviously a discounted price because you're buying them in bulk. I don't know how much, but like each volume
I don't think it's that much, but I'd have to check.
But like each volume is $10.
Yeah.
So like if you did 50 volumes, that's $500. Are these boxes $500? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think a lot of them are like sold out, so I have no idea.
That's true. That's fair. I mean, maybe they'll make other. I feel like that's how box sets work, right?
Yeah.
But like I wanted to buy them individually so that I'm able to relish each one, you know, and like I'm not in a rush either, because I know this takes another. Now that I know the final saga is happening, and that I know that at least according to Oda, it's gonna take about 3 years. I think I'll be able to buy and read all of the manga by that time. But like I said, like I told you, I was like, I'm trying my. I have been reading the latest chapters just out of my morbid curiosity, and I'll probably do that anyway, especially when I get caught up or something. But it is going to be. I remember in the first podcast that I was just like, I don't even want to read it because I definitely don't want to have that vibe of like they're extending this scene for no reason, quote unquote. Like, yeah, there is a reason. It's because the episodes need to be 20 minutes. And they need to be 20 minutes because they're being put on television, and the television and the broadcasting and the branding, brand deals, and the money generating thing that lets this anime happen as long as it has happened and paying everybody that's the stipulation. They have to make them 20 minutes. And they don't want to get caught up. They don't want to do anime. They've done a couple anime original stuff. They did just recently. They did a little backstory to Luffy and Uta to kind of promote One Piece film, and they do that. I think for all of the movies they've done that, because the movies only happen once every 3 years, right?
I don't think for all the movies they've done that. I think the most recent stuff. Like I know they have one for film
They did for Gold, and then they also I'm pretty sure they did it for Z.
It's insane how little the film Gold one has on the actual movie. Because I remember watching it, I was like, I'm gonna watch this before I go see the movie. And then it literally has like
absolutely
it's like nothing to do with it.
I know.
It is so nothing. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, it's just that's the one with Silvermine, right?
Yes, that.
Yeah, I know. It has nothing to do.
Nothing to do with it. I was like, why did I watch that? It was not even good. It wasn't even good. Like,
no, it wasn't. That one wasn't so good. But it was, and that's because it didn't really have any of the Straw Hats in it. It had Luffy and Bartolomeo.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it.
That's not enough to carry it because I love Bartolomeo. No, he's so funny.
Oh my god.
And
it's also funny because he's voiced by Shikamaru.
Okay.
So he has that very like. It's just funny because like Shikamaru is the character in Naruto that's like super jaded and like this is a pain and kind of like really serious and like kind of chill and everything. Yeah. And then Bartolomeo is this like he is that at first and he's kind of a dirtbag, but the moment you find out that he's a Straw Hat fan, he's just a goofball.
It is
the rest of the time.
It's so like it is like probably like the best plot twist in the entire series.
That's huge. That's big.
Like
big
it was. it's. I don't think I laughed more at One Piece. I think like just Bartolomeo's like introduction, just being like amazed at Luffy, like it's Luffy. And
well, it's funny because he's just like Straw Hat. You know, he sounds like he has a vendetta against him, just like Cavendish does.
Yeah.
Because you get introduced to Cavendish first, and he hates Straw Hat because of the popularity thing. And so it's like, oh, and everyone has an axe to grind against him, and it's like, oh, it's really tough. And then there's this extra piece of shit dirtbag that's like everyone hates, and he hates everybody. And then he hears about Straw Hat, and you're like, oh, he's probably gonna really hate this guy. And, watch out for him.
He's the cannibal pirates, man. Like,
right. And he's a complete dirtbag. And then he's like, Luffy senpai.
it's him.
It's hysterical.
Do you like the Grand Fleet stuff? Do you like that sort of reveal at the end?
You know, I did. I think I made a mention of it in my script, actually, my Naruto script, because I was reviewing one of my sections about Shonen Jump before I went to record it, because you know, long times of like having written it, and I want to go back and make sure it's good.
Yeah.
Before I record it, I'm probably recording it. I would have done it today, but piss pirates.
Damn.
But no, it's good. I'll do it tomorrow.
I'm ruining Shaybs' video.
No, you're not. You're not. I'm actually really. It's more like, oh, finally, Jack wants to record gets his time to record the podcast.
It's time, bro. It's time.
Chopping at the bit. We thought that the next episode was gonna be us talking about Punk Hazard.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Punk Hazard at all.
We haven't even talked about Punk Hazard.
We'll get to it. I'm making sure that we don't leave here until we actually.
No, I want to talk about Punk Hazard too.
Yeah, but like there was a section, alliance squads. So there's this like Shonen Jump thing, right? It's like my favorite thing, where it's groups of characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, you know, Yu Yu Hakusho, it's the 4 guy, Team Urameshi, Hunter x Hunter, they don't really have a name, but it's just let's meet on September 1st. It's like, you know, they're the poster kids of the show. That group,
the team,
Straw Hats, Team 7, right?
Yeah.
Like having them as a group, and like why that's so compelling and fun. And I actually made a counterpoint with like later in it, because I'm talking about like there's other groups kind of like the Soul Society and the Gold Saints and other stuff like that. Oh, in Ginga Nagaraboshi Gin, like that wolf story in Shonen Jump, there's like, you know, 12 factions in this
12 wolves
in like the O army. They have different, each one has a captain and shit like that. The One Piece had this similar thing with this Luffy alliance with 7 of the characters that they've gone through the ringer, and they're kind of the 7 most notable, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, that's not established until the end of the arc.
Yeah.
And you know, up until that point, you kind of treat them the same way you would, you know, the Fishman characters or Fishman Island characters, or, you know, characters that are obviously very exclusive to this arc. And in the tournament with all those tournament fighters, which most of these captains come from, there's a lot more that they introduce than just this group. Mm-hmm. You know, and so some of them end up becoming kind of like affiliated with they're under this captain or something. But
yeah, others, they kind of assimilate.
Others, I'm pretty sure, completely just fell off. Like they completely disseminated, like weren't a thing after a while. They just kind of disappear from the story. And so the way that Oda did that, where it's a flurry of characters you're supposed to care about. There's a couple that you very obviously care about because they get a little more screen time, but also like more time outside of the fight itself.
Exactly.
But then like it's just like, oh, but I'm really only going to need to care about these characters for this arc. But then they form this alliance at the end, and it's like, oh, now I actually really care. Like, these are characters. Hyrodine and Ideo are characters I actually have to remember. As much as I liked Ideo because it's an Ideon reference. It's like a very clear Space Runaway Ideon reference.
Yeah.
But I obviously cared about Cavendish and Bartolomeo, and even the sprite Leo.
Oh yeah, Leo, the Tontatas.
The Tontata guy.
I love them. Yeah, they're so cute.
Yeah, that was cool, where there's like a contrast of like Hyodine's in it, but then also Leo, the Tontata's in it, and stuff. And they're gonna keep being relevant a little bit.
Yeah.
But then it's like, this character ends up being a lot more important. Like when you're introduced to that one army that has the old guy that had the vendetta against Garp. I forget.
Oh,
Don Chinchou.
Don Chinchou, yeah.
And he has his two sons, I believe.
Yeah.
Like the three of them are kind of introduced together, and they give this very strong vibe of, yeah, I'm gonna see you in this part of the story, but you're not gonna stay relevant. But Don Chinchou gets really good stuff, but that's kind of the best stuff he gets, really. And then one of the brothers doesn't get anything. Like, he deadass disappears from the story. And I distinctly remember that he actually had kind of a slightly cooler, like slightly more memorable introduction. Because obviously they're introducing all these characters at once. And so I'm just like, okay, what's something that I can attach myself towards? What's something cool? Like, Ideo is an Ideon reference. This fucking leg guy. He's
the leg guy.
He's a fucking freak.
I forgot about the leg guy from the Leg Clan or whatever.
And like all he does is just like, ah, and like at first he had a couple lines here and there, but then literally all you get from it is just ah, and he's there. He's
well,
there
the thing
too.
with the other brothers that he has the whole thing with Baby Five, which is
that's the thing,
which
right?
is so captivating.
He gets like
fun.
a whole fight with Baby Five, and like he's actually really cool and has some good lines and attack. He takes out G. G.
Yeah, the old guy, right?
G.
Yeah.
What was his powers even?
I don't
is he
remember.
Just strong. He's just strong.
I think he was like powering up. Yeah, I think he was just because he was really old, and then he would just power up randomly.
Yeah,
but he would say G.
Oh. Yeah. I like that, but that's fun, right? Because like Oda has the thing where, okay, what's this guy's thing? What's like the thing that they're weird about? It's like, oh, why would you give them that character trait or things you wouldn't expect? And we talked about that with like Chopper hiding behind it the opposite way. It's like, isn't that backwards? But fucking, that reminds me of fucking Pika.
Oh, Pika.
That was so funny.
That
was really good. Because I thought he was gonna be a mute, like a silent. That reveal is so funny. Because
Zoro's just like chasing him around for like most of the arc. Zoro's just running.
That was funny.
He's basically just running away from Zoro because he knows that Zoro's gonna clap him because it's fucking Zoro.
Yeah. Well, he claps him. He claps him all right.
He does.
Gee,
Not
he
after
finally got him. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably one of Zoro's like weakest fights. Like, even if I think the Pika like voice thing, I think it worked.
I think it was a perfect match for him. Like, it made sense in the context of the arc.
It definitely.
Pika's a fucking threat. Like, he technically is the biggest threat out of any of Doffy's
for sure. He's just
and so it makes sense
just so powerful.
for just Zoro to handle it. Just distract, like Pika didn't do as much damage as he could because he's taken up by Zoro really hounding for his ass. And I think what made it so weak was that Oda matched them up so quickly.
Yeah.
There
wasn't much.
He's like, but I can't take him down just yet. But also there's other things that he needs Pika to do, like terraform the whole place and everything. And he's like, yeah, shit. So it's like, and there was that kind of a lampshading moment in the anime. I don't know if it was in the manga, but like one of the champion fighters, I think it was the Olympus guy, or King Punch. That's another guy who was like King Punch, like the one KO punch guy.
Yeah, the KO punch.
Like
guy,
that's a guy. Like that's a pretty significant guy, and then he just gets tossed. He's like, that's not a character. You know what I mean? It's sort of just like Oda just smattered a bunch of ideas that he had for fighters, and then he's like, let's write which ones I kind of like the most. And obviously he liked he enjoyed writing Bartolomeo the most because Bartolomeo, like, you know,
he is the one
off, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, obviously.
Well, I think the fans also just loved him the most. Like,
it's
like such a mix. Yeah, it's like
a combo. It's obviously what Oda wants to write, but it's that thing that I don't know if I talked about it here, and I don't really bring it up in my Shonen Jump section either. But like the thing with fucking Jump, where it's so obvious that somebody is a fan favorite character. They were definitely not supposed to have this much focus and attention on them until a couple really good scenes or a certain fight that they had, made them like really surge in the popularity polls, and then the author was like, guess I should write them more into the story. Specifically with Bleach, it's Hitsugaya. Oh my god, he just fucking keeps showing up and seems really important, even though he definitely wasn't at first, and just I don't think he ends up ever really taking that of this like, oh, he's on the same level as fucking Byakuya. Is it Byakuya? Yeah, like Rukia's brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, but it's like, what the fuck? But then for Naruto, it's fucking Shikamaru.
Oh, really? He's that popular? Really?
Yeah, because he ends up having like two, like both. So he has in the tuning exams, right? He has two really cool fights. Like he not cool in the terms of like big explosion or not like on the spectacle level like Rock Lee Gaara, but he has a fight that's like, oh fuck, he's smart and like he's actually the smartest guy or whatever. And he doesn't give a fuck. That's so cool. He's like, but this is such a pain. And so obviously he just kind of like it's bait. At least I saw it that way. But then there's a fucking Shippuden OP where he just looks like the main character. Like fucking look at let me link it for a second. But like that's funny. The arc isn't about Naruto. It's about him.
Oh, it's just about Shikamaru. He just gets his own arc.
He's the main character of the arc.
I like that. Because I don't really like Naruto, so I guess. Sure. This is so corny. Live reaction. Like, he does look like the main character.
Wow, I wonder if it's the main character. Right?
Yeah, because Naruto's the first person that goes by, and then it focuses on him again.
Yeah. It's like, bruh, what?
Is he in Flanders Fields? What the fuck? Why is it all the poppies?
Lol about. No, dude. But yeah, this OP's also ass. But anyway.
It's fucking terrible. Yeah.
It's not good. Anyway, but it's But yeah, fuck. I've noticed that with some Jump stuff, where like a character really suddenly like more of them, please.
Please.
And I definitely have gotten that vibe a bit of like this, and Oda's kind of set this up for himself of like, oh, who's gonna join the crew? I can't fucking imagine what it must have been like reading Water 7 weekly and trying to be like, oh, is Barty, is that his name? I forget the rope guy.
Oh, Paulie,
yeah. It's like, oh, Paulie's gonna join the crew. Oh, Iceberg's gonna join the crew. Oh, probably not Franky. Actually, maybe Franky. Oh, it's definitely Franky. There's
well, it makes sense why it's Franky. I don't know. Like, I liked the other.
Definitely makes sense in like retrospect.
Yeah, in hindsight,
given the whole thing, right? But like you watch early Water 7, and they're like, "Ooh, who's gonna be our shipwright? Oh, is it gonna be this cool like the guy that has a similar nose like Usopp? He does parkour. He's cool.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's funny. Right. No, that's literally it with fucking like Iceberg. It's like, oh, cute mouse pocket. He's great.
He's great. Quirky, fit the crew well. Giant cyborg man who is in a thong.
Sorry, bud.
Sorry,
Ow!
dude. Robin grabbed his balls and crunched them, dude. Sorry.
I forgot that. That's great. Oh my god.
It's like that's like the best. I think it's the best Franky moment, to be honest.
Yeah, wow. I think the best Franky moment is him burning the plans in front of Spandam.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty great.
He's like, here's what I think of your fucking shit.
I just think it's the most memorable. That or like the Senior Pink fight, I think.
Well, it's not memorable for me because I didn't even remember it.
Damn, I don't know.
But that's fair. No, that's cool. That's great.
It's stuck in my mind, dude. It's the sound effect they use
on it.
The sound effect they use in that moment is just,
right.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Terrifying at the same time.
Bro, I wonder what post time skip Franky Kudabu would have been like.
Kudabu,
like the fucking fart.
Oh, what? Oh.
He does that several times.
The fart.
Yeah, it's a plot relevant thing too, because he uses that to escape, like get Robin out of there, and that's what gets them to the roof that like allows them to have this emotional moment. It's because he Kudabooed into the thing.
Oh, is that yeah? I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, he swells his whole ass up and then.
How the fuck did I forget it? Well, we remember different things, okay? We remember different things about Franky, I guess.
But that's what's great with One Piece, right? It's so long, and there's so many like individual memorable moments, because it's like, I think Oda is really good at remembering that this is a manga that comes out week to week, and it's okay for fans to start reading at this chapter. That's fine. I hope you enjoy.
Here's flashbacks to 500 chapters ago.
To 5 things. It's like, oh, that happened? Huh.
No, yeah, because he's been doing that a lot recently, I've seen.
Yeah.
Especially in Wano. Like, there is so many... He's like, this is what happened like 600 chapters ago. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yes, I remember. I haven't been because unlike you, I've not been experiencing One Piece for 24 years.
We're not like you, Oda. You're the only one.
Yeah, the only one. And this was something that came out while we were gone. And I got a hit tweet out of it.
Ooh. I remember you telling me about this.
There was a news, because I guess they interviewed him. The director of One Piece Film Red, who is also the director of Code Geass, who is also the director of the original OVA of One Piece from 1998.
Yeah, we talked about on the podcast.
So apparently, Oda told him the entire story, front to back, when he directed the OVA.
No way.
Yeah. And so he's known how One Piece ends.
What?
This whole time.
This fucking dude has been keeping the secrets locked in his head.
No. And so he was just like, please, I want it to end so I could just not have the secret anymore.
That's terrible, man. That's so bad. Because when he's making that OVA, he's not thinking that it's gonna be this giant cultural phenomenon, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like you can't tell anyone about that shit.
It's so funny. I mean, like all the editors, I'm pretty sure know. He talked about it. Aoyama and the author of Detective Conan and Oda, they had an interview together, which was a really big deal at the time because Conan is published in Shonen Sunday. Yeah. It's a rival magazine to Jump or Shonen Sunday, yes.
Yeah, Shonen Sunday.
Yeah, because I was going to say the original magazine, the original Shonen magazine is. Weekly Shonen Magazine. Yeah. And that's the one that Kyojin no Hoshi was published in, Ashino Joe was published in.
Yeah.
And then Jump was a couple years later. And I believe Sunday was like almost the same time as Jump. Like really close. But then, so they've been kind of like rival manga, so it's like not very unusual for authors of 2 manga to interact. And then they had Conan show up on the cover of Shonen Jump. And then Zoro was on the cover of Shonen Sunday. That was like a really big deal.
They couldn't give him Luffy, man. They couldn't give him Luffy.
I mean, that's fair.
They're like, we'll let you have Zoro Shonen Sunday. We're not going to give you Luffy, all right? That was the caveat. That was the caveat. Right.
But it's also just like, you need to have the Conan and Luffy together on one of the covers.
True. It is that cover page is really cool. I do like that.
It's incredible.
As someone who's never seen or read Conan in his entire life, I thought it was pretty cool. Just because I've known about Detective Conan, like.
Well, you get that it's a cultural phenomenon the same way as One Piece, maybe even more so.
Even more so?
Not maybe. That's why I said
definitely
maybe.
Not.
Only because it doesn't have as many volumes sold.
It doesn't.
But they're both over 100. They're both over 100 volumes, and that was
definitely over 100 volumes. But it's like One Piece is the highest selling manga ever, right?
Sure. It literally 500 million. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah. You know the stats.
But Conan is up there too. Like Conan's no joke. Anyway, he talked. What was I mentioning? He talks about how like every time he gets a new editor, he tells them the whole story.
Damn.
Like he sits them down, and he recounts the whole story of One Piece from beginning to end.
If One Piece,
and then this happened.
it's crazy. If One Piece was made in America, the story would have been leaked already. Because that's like the Japanese trust system is just so insane that they're just there would be so many NDAs having to be signed if it was like an American like comic or some shit. Yeah. Like I feel like so many people would have taken the opportunity to leak it by now. I'm just like happy that they have that sort of system within the company to keep it under wraps so I don't get spoiled. It's interesting. There's so many people walking around that know the ending.
No, it is interesting. But like props to those people who live with the
The burden, the guilt, man. They gotta carry that weight, man. It's
carry that weight. Yeah.
You gotta carry that weight.
Yeah. But where were we? Gosh. I want to talk about Punk Hazard.
Can we talk about the best moment in Dresrosa that you didn't address?
Oh, please. Well, what is your thing of
God, Usopp? Hello?
Yeah.
The best.
I actually like that he had to run it back, and he still got her. And
he got her, man.
That was an even more impressive moment than the actual God Usopp moment. Like the God Usopp moment is hysterical.
The God,
it's like
Usopp's
it's also
like
it's just really well done in the anime too.
Yeah, it's so
like,
good.
Oh
just in the anime when they're just announcing all the slowly announcing all the bounties on the people.
The bounties. He's like, no.
And then it's Usopp, and it's like, no, but the way he defeats Carrot with the observation.
You mean Sugar?
Oh yeah, Sugar. Yeah, Sugar. Yeah, my bad.
Carrot.
he beats the fuck out of Carrot.
It's like, oh yeah.
No, but
you mean the cannibal?
The cannibal. You eat fucking Carrot.
You remember because Robin was like, it's an island of cannibals, and he's like, don't say that. And then he sees Luffy later and riding with Carrot, and Carrot bites him, and he's like, oh my god, they're really cannibals.
It's so fucking good.
It's fantastic.
Just messing with him. I just was happy Usopp got his moment because he's my favorite.
He has two great moments because he gets that moment which is really embrace. He's like, no, I am not your hero. I am Usopp. He's like, Usolando is not my name. And really embracing who he is, but still standing up for him and everything. But then fucking really showing himself up as the the real sniper on the that was insane.
Yeah, it's
insane.
No, it's crazy.
And he definitely got observation hockey from that.
Oh yeah, the observation moment is so cool. It's it's so interesting. I fucking love it.
It was an awesome fucking moment.
And just the revelation that he has a higher bounty than Sanji is
in front of the Sanji, and then Franky being salty about it. He's like, I'm the only one that's under fucking 100 million. What the fuck?
Yeah, just them all. I just love the bounty moments are always fun. Just seeing their reactions are always are always a good time.
But also, if their reactions, but then also in this latest one, fucking Bartolomeo also got their signatures, and you see how each of them would do their signature. It's so funny.
I should go back and read those. But I
didn't even register it at first, but Luffy's is just Ore. And then I actually did not recognize that they are that they're autographs, but I had to rewind it because I was like, oh my god, wait, are these autographs? And then I was like, oh my god, yeah, they're autographs. It's Ore. Zoro's is just sword. It's just the kanji for sword. Usopp actually tries, and he gives a little message, and he has a little signature. It's cute. It's
of course he would.
He tries. Franky's is cool. Franky's is just a big star, and then really cool lettering Franky, and he's to my brother, and he has the coolest one. And then Robin's is a doodle of a robin, and then it's her little name at the corner, and it's oh my god, oh she's so precious. She
made a little bird.
Yeah, it's oh. No, it's she. I think Oda found the niche for her, because I can understand after Water 7 losing that thing that really separated Robin from the rest of the crew, I think, where she had a lot of shit going on. They don't really know what her deal is, but she's nice, and she's really friendly and everything. But when she's lost that edge and she's very much just in their corner, hard and fast and everything, it's a great moment and well deserved and should happen. But then after that point, Thriller Bark, Sabaody, even though Sabaody's a good moment because it's that's the last character that Luffy loses, which is a big deal because he promised her that he wouldn't, whatever.
Yeah, he would protect her, and
that was a really good moment. But all of that, Fishman, she just kind of keeps to herself. She does do a little bit with the poneglyphs, but she's really just there. Punk Hazard, she's just there, and Dresrosa, she's just there. And I'm feeling Zoe could be the first time where she actually has something, because the fucking elephant Zunisha has been here over a millennia, And there's something about this vibe, and also the fucking OP gives it away. They're like, oh, the poneglyphs, that's gonna be a big deal. You should care about that right now.
You care about it now. Got spoiled. You fucking
it's been there.
dickhead.
No, I didn't get spoiled. That was like in the OP, and I was getting the vibe.
No, that OP. Yeah.
Yeah, the OP is just like, which is also ass, by the way. The OP is not good.
We can. Yeah, that fucking
can.
It's such a shit. It's so bad.
And like the drawings are really bad. It's just like this sucks.
Yeah, the close. I remember when it came out. There's like a close up of Robin.
Yeah, it's the close up of Robin.
Drawn.
There's also both. Like I think every shot of Luffy looks so stupid. It looks like what like a corporation would think of think Luffy looks like. You know, like it's. I have to get the fucking screenshots of this because it is heinous.
It's like
this is soulless. It's
how
not
ExxonMobil would think Luffy looks like. Like, what the fuck?
I forget what number. I don't know what number it is. I'm just gonna pick and choose. It's not 18. It's the one right now. It's 19. Oh my god! One of them is just it's the 4K at 60 FPS version.
Oh no, dude! I can't with those. It's so gross.
Even just the thumbnail of this, it's just like, ugh.
Ew. Why does he look like that?
Right?
He's so
like
skinny.
Like how flat the straw hat looks, how big it is on him.
Yeah.
It's like, and is he serious too? It's like, but like
so bad.
like him smiling both times, it's just like a college freshman, like some. I don't get it.
I'm scrolling through this opening, and there's a picture of Buggy, and then it turns out that Mihawk is right behind him. Interesting.
Well, it's because they're both warlords.
They're warlords. It is because they're warlords, but I think that's kind of funny.
Like this shot of him, it's like, it's like when you put on like a corporate poster, like, oh yes, I'm sponsoring the Olympics.
That's like DeviantArt shit, dude.
Right.
Yeah, the only good shot right now is Nami with a water gun.
Yeah, no, that's all the water gun stuff's cute.
They gotta get the water gun stuff right.
This last shot of him like the Luffy, it's like,
no, they all look gross in this one. This is not.
I think Chopper looks alright. Brook is a little forced. Zoro's fine.
Zoro's still a little weird. He looks too skinny.
Yeah, actually, the more I'm looking at it, like, look at his fingers.
The proportions of everyone look so fucked up.
Look at his fingers.
Look at Nami. She looks like she's like.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but
Usopp looks all scrunkly.
Also, no fucking wonder people were tired of these outfits, of the fucking Fishman fits. They don't wear this in the show. Why do they have the same fits on all the way, like in the Zoe OP?
Yeah, it's weird.
Why?
Because they have completely different outfits.
It's the same thing in OP 18 with it's like the second Dresrosa. Like that's why I like 17, because at the very least they have like kind of funky, fun, color-coded outfits, right? Like that's the one with like wake up. It's like
I love this opening.
That's like fun, and also that like the song is just really cute and perky.
Yeah, I like that one.
I liked the song, but it's the same fucking outfits as fucking Fishman.
Yeah, it's dumb.
And it's like,
I don't know if they fixed that. I don't know if they fixed that because I don't like the whole cake openings like at all. So like.
Yeah, I think they do. I hope so, at least.
I think they do, because the whole cake fits are kind of fire. Like I like.
Yeah,
Luffy's,
they do. I've noticed
Luffy's
that Luffy actually has a different fit, and then when he gets to Wano, he's starting with a different fit, like a completely different fit.
Yeah. The Wano fits are great.
Right.
The
all
whole cake
the
outfits
fits
are great.
in the show are great, and like that's the thing that's so annoying to me. I don't know if I mentioned it here or elsewhere. I feel like I have. God, every time someone is like, "Oh, the greatest fits in anime," right, and they talk about Bleach. They cite Bleach as like some of the best outfits and like the best fits, right? No, dude, none of those. Every picture you're posting is not from the show itself.
It's like cover art or something?
No, it's not. No. It's like promotional art. It's on the volume covers, on the chapter covers. It's like supplementary art that Kubo drew of his characters, and they're also maybe in the OPs, right? The various Bleach OPs have them in different fits, or like the captains of the Soul Reaper world. It's been kind of like 3 years, sorry. are like chilling in the real world or whatever, and they have these cool like outfits on. That is nice, but they never, ever, ever, I swear to God, ever wear that even close to that level of fit in the show itself.
Yeah,
because the majority of the time they're wearing their Soul Reaper outfits.
What are just the little cloaks? Like
they're wearing their cloaks, which are cool, which are good. That's fine. That's fine, but it's the same thing. It's the same.
Boring,
it gets boring. It gets boring over time, but for years, right? And for whatever. But like, it's so annoying, right? And then you have One Piece that gets completely glossed over the conversation, where they actually have different fits every arc. They actually get different outfits and are cool. But then
I feel like specifically post time skip, like each arc, they look pretty vastly different.
Yeah.
Like
even Water 7 and et cetera. They do have different fits.
Yeah, they do like look pretty different. I like,
it's like
just Franky's little haircuts. I like just even add a little bit.
Even Franky's haircuts, exactly. But like, and that gives a variety, and it's a sense of time passing, and I like that a lot. It's just so frustrating that no one ever fucking brings that up.
Yeah, man, people are fucking annoying.
Well, they're young also. There's a lot of young people watching this, right? And they're not paying enough attention to these sorts of things.
These youngins, these fucking whippersnappers.
And when people tweet things, the vast majority of the time, it's a stray thought. They did not put that much thought into it. They don't give that much of a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they just had a thought. They want to put it into the world because they want to feel like it matters. Like
sometimes, some of them, like, it's their quote unquote like job, or like, their whole thing is being Twitter famous. Like, they're running this big account with a ton of followers, and they need to be posting. They need to be posting things, and they schedule tweets to generate, like, to make a consistent schedule, like they're content creators.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's so easy to just like say random bullshit and get good or ill. Attention is attention for them. You know, unless they say some actual heinous or like do some bad, turn out to be a shitty person or whatever. Mm-hmm. These every time you even you quote tweet something of like actually, like, for the fucking, like, there's that one Demon Slayer one that ran around, that was the same fucking clip of the latest season. That was like when the animators get paid. And I saw a ton of people quote tweeting it, being like, actually, and going, like, trying to fight it. And it's like, dude,
that's never gonna change, bro. Like,
I know, and that's my thing, right? It's never gonna change, because where it's coming from is from a place of, it's a completely different motivation. This account is not trying to spread like additive information, because that's not what gets clicks and traffic on these sites. Clearly it's the wrong shit, because
it's
the
like
wrong
the controversial
shit is what people are gonna, controversial. Yeah.
But it's like a controversial statement, but for like people who aren't like deep rooted like anime fans, they just kind of think that like the budget is so integral to like the quality of the product, when it really isn't. And they're not gonna go out of their way to learn that, and I think that's like fine. Like, I don't know, people are just kind of ignorant like that a lot of the time about certain things, especially if they just watch Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan.
Yeah,
like they're not gonna they're not gonna know, and it's like, I can't really like, I think being annoying and quote tweeting and just. I think that sort of, I hadn't seen this at all, because I don't really interact with anime Twitter, because it's toxic and bad.
Of course.
A lot of the time.
You're smart. Yeah.
I see, like, most of the anime, like takes I see are from Shaybs when he DMs me One Piece tweets, and they're funny, so it's like, I get a very, like, because I think I just, like, kind of
I'm on
a lot
Twitter
of that
too much.
shit.
That's the problem.
I'm also on Twitter a lot, so it's like, I just I don't know. I guess we just follow different people.
Yeah, I guess so.
But yeah. So speaking of following people, let's follow up on Punk Hazard.
You want to try that again, Jack?
Seamless. It was seamless.
No, I don't feel. I was thinking the same thing, and what I would have transitioned to would have been like, oh man, so I really want to talk about Punk Hazard. Even the clean break, a clean break would have been better than whatever that was.
It was perfect. It was perfect,
Come on,
bro. It was perfect, man. just like Punk Hazard, the perfect arc.
Pretty great. Pretty fantastic.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Caesar Clown, man. He has the greatest One Piece laugh in history. Definitely. Okay, dude. I was expecting you to disagree, but
no. I think it's
dude,
like, it is easily the one, and the anime abuses the shit out of it.
Ooh, they abused the fuck out of it, man.
No, and it's a lot of fun, you know.
It's
there's
so,
a lot of great,
of
great stuff, but I love how self-contained it is. It really feels like this isn't gonna. It's not one of those events where, like Dresrosa or Alabasta, where it's like, this will be felt across the world. You know, like
yeah.
You know, like the big thing, right? It's more like a Skypiea, which is just very contained, very specific characters that show up a lot, and all of them have really good moments. It's great.
Well, it's kind of like it will be felt because.
Oh no, sure, it has implications.
It has implications
but
to
absolute, but it's it's like in a contained area.
Yeah.
You know, the island itself was completely blocked off to
isolated
everybody.
and everything.
And then the Navy's presence there, like Smoker, allows it so that they're like, no, nothing's coming out of this. You're never gonna hear what happened out of this place. As nobody knew. Nobody had any idea this lab was down there.
This lab,
I
testing
really
on the kids.
It's funny. It's funny that like the things that everything this arc leads into and like what it becomes. Because the start of it is just Luffy being like, "Whoa, lava island, let's go over there," and like it has the a similar beginning to like Punk has, not to Thriller Bark, where
where they just kind of are swooped into it.
Yeah, they get swept into it, but also just like there are certain characters that are into it, and they're like, "Yeah, let's explore, let's check it out," and there's others that are not into it, you know. And that's just so funny to see that split. I really enjoy that. And then like it really feels very adventurous and like, oh, what's gonna happen? It's like, oh, Centaurs, dragon, you know. What happened? He was like, wait, there's snow on the other side, and you know, this slowly unfurling of like what the deal is with this place is. And then it has a similar thing what I described with Dresrosa, where as soon as the bomb goes off, with like the experiment sort of quote unquote begins, it's like very narrow. Okay, everyone's there. This is the singular thing happening, and they're on a clock, you know. And that was very compelling. That like the gas is you know trying to survive a nuclear fallout basically was like really entertaining.
Yeah. They kind of lay all the pieces together, and then there's that big event that occurs, and then they have to actually defeat this stupid fucking clown and Virgo and Monet and stuff.
You know, I feel like people. I think the reason people didn't take as well to Fishman perhaps is because Punk Hazard is starting to do as contained as it is. That one as well as Dresrosa even more so. But it's that thing that I talked about earlier where, oh my god, suddenly a lot of things are going on. Oh, Law's here. Oh, Smoker's here. What's this samurai guy doing here? You know, he's poking with these characters. Oh, like this informant for this guy Joker. Oh, it's Doflamingo, Virgo. He's here. Like there's certain things that he pokes in that are relevant that that a longtime reader or viewer can retain of like, oh shit, this thing's starting to move into, or we see Smoker again. He's finally close enough to try and capture Straw Hat or whatever. And the same thing with Dresrosa with like again Bellamy, Burgess, Sabo. Even the samurai are there, Kinemon. Yeah, right. And that came I think from Marineford, which is maybe why people consider that the first really big, not the first I guess, because Arlong's also a peak. And Water 7's a peak. But why my Marineford is so recognized and remembered is because everybody's there. All three admirals are there. All the warlords are there. None of the Straw Hats are there.
None of the Straw Hats are there.
Hey, but anyway.
We got Jinbei, though.
Sure, like Jinbei, Ivan, there's certain things that like, oh shit, Big Buggy's there, and Ace, of course, all the Impel Down people. Garp, there's a lot of like players
there's integral characters to the story. It's
that we've heard about or that we've seen bits and pieces of, or have seen from previous arcs and stuff, and they're finally getting that play. You know, a Whitebeard, obviously, Shanks shows up, Blackbeard shows up, you know, all those sorts of things. That appeal is really unique, I think, to One Piece specifically. Like, you could say that some other Battle Shonen have done that kind of too, but it's really hard to do that if you're not long. If you're not over 50 volumes, that I feel like that effect isn't as strong. Like, you could, I've not been up to date with Hero Academia, right?
Yeah.
But, like, it's having a final arc, and it's kind of like similar to Naruto's arc, where it's this big war and everything. And even with Naruto, which is also fairly long, even that one didn't have that vibe of like, oh shit, that person's here, that person's here, that person's here. It kind of felt very uniform and contained all the way through, that you never needed that. You never got that like, oh my god, you know?
Isn't the thing with Naruto, they're mostly like, because they have their main setting of the village, right? That's kind of, they always return to there.
Well, it's the ninja world, and yeah, the village is like that central hub.
That's central. That's their home, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's so unique to One Piece just because they're constantly traveling.
There's
there's
no base.
Their home is a boat.
Their home is together.
Is together. Is being together. So it's that constantly evolving, you know, like revolving door of new characters.
And so a lot of, I think the cast of Naruto is smaller comparatively. It's still pretty big.
Well, yeah.
But like compared to One Piece, it's not that big. They're constantly keeping characters in the loop, despite, like, you know, a big complaint of Naruto obviously is that a lot of specific characters that they introduce early don't get anything later. You know, like, and it's true. I was reflecting on it, and Lee could have gotten more. Rock Lee could have gotten more. Hinata, you can fucking count on one hand how many moments she has that are fucking significant. Fuck. It sounds bad on paper, but I actually make the argument in my Hinata section that I prefer that over having them constantly there but not really doing anything. There's other characters that have a much longer presence, but they don't make as much of an impact in places here or there. Like Robin. I think it's disappointing that she's there for so many of these arcs, but she hardly does anything. She's just kind of there. I prefer a character where it's like Shanks, where when they show up, pay the fuck attention. You know? I really like that. And One Piece, you literally get that 50 times, like, not 50, but like at least 20 times, because you have not just Blackbeard and Whitebeard and Shanks and like Shanks at the end, and Sengoku, the fucking fleet admiral, all three admirals, Garp. You know, when Garp showed up in at the end of Eni's lobby, that was a big deal, you know, and I was like, oh shit. And Kobe's there too at Marineford, right? It's like that feeling multiplied X number of times for how many characters there are. Ace showing up, right? You see Ace on screen, it's like, oh fuck, you know? It's like that a bunch of times. And that's what makes that arc so memorable. And I think he used that to his advantage now that he has this he's built this whole story with when he gets to Punk Hazard, he's able to introduce these little characters here and there, whereas Fishman was fairly contained, all things considered. Mm-hmm. Right? Not just in the way that I'm saying about Punk Hazard as in literally contained, but contained in the way that the only characters that showed up were Jinbei and Hachi, I guess, was there.
Hachi was there.
Kami was kind of there. I wish Kami was in it more, to be honest.
The starfish guy. What was his name?
I forget his name, but
he was there.
Kami's friend is there.
Kami's friend was the starfish.
But like, it really ends up being just Shirahoshi. I forgot the main villain's name.
Hody Jones, bro.
Hody Jones.
Is it? Do they say Hordy or is it Hody?
Hody Jones. So, like, I think the subs say Hordy Jones.
I think my sub said Hody Jones. Hody.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
They're physically saying Hody.
Yeah, see, you can see why Shaybs didn't remember. He's like the worst villain in the whole series, so it's kind of just...
Yeah, I was like, fuck, you got me.
I don't know, Foxy kind of better.
Foxy is better. I don't disagree there. No, but you know what I mean? So, like, maybe that's one potential reason, because you're coming off of Marineford, it had that vibe, or it had that, like, narrative trick of like introducing these characters that he doesn't normally use or hasn't used
Yeah.
yet, right?
To the max, basically. It's like you're like overloaded with like stimulation.
In a really cool way.
Yeah, and like and it's done so well.
Yeah,
you finally get to see all these characters.
Yeah,
it's really exciting, and I think he uses that a lot. But
yeah,
I think in more like subtle ways to make it less
in a way
like,
that's like it's more focused. It's a lot more like it. I think the first great example is Punk Hazard.
Yeah,
because the minute Law shows up, it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be more than a standalone adventure, because he's there for a reason, and Smoker being there really complicates things. And Vergo, who is this guy? Oh my god, are we finally talking about Doflamingo, who we've known about since Jaya? And it's like, oh shit. And even just how close Caesar is to Vegapunk, who's this character we still don't know that much about.
Yeah, it's all these connections are finally like Oda set up this giant dollhouse with a bunch of different characters, but he was like slowly setting it up over hundreds of chapters. But now he finally gets to play with it, and he finally gets to bring his new little Barbies in that we've heard about.
Yeah. So that's exactly why this final arc is gonna blow people's fucking pants off and everything else.
No, it's already like good.
He gets to do that over and over and over and over for like I'm fully expecting something where like they do get to Elbath, and he's just using Elbath as the setting to take care of this showdown, because there has to be there's multiple showdowns that have to get through. As
he's saying 3 years. What is he smoking? Like, what is Oda smoking? I don't. There's so many, there's so many unanswered questions. There's so many
I think
there's
the
so
questions
many
are gonna
figures left in the story.
The thing is, like, the way he's answered other questions in such a domino fashion, where you knock one and the rest of it makes sense, everything clicks into place. I fully expect that to happen. I think people have probably already figured it out, but I just haven't watched those videos.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, like everything's kind of clicked, and he's talked about it in interviews. Actually, he made a mention. I think he talked to Aoyama where he was like, dude, I didn't know the fucking internet would be like this. Like, I didn't know there'd just be a bunch of theories out there.
Yeah, the YouTubers.
I wouldn't have fucking thrown all these crumbs out if I knew that this was how they're gonna treat him, you know. And he almost kind of regrets it a little bit, because some people might have figured it out already.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh yeah, but
because I haven't watched as many theories also, because I'm just kind of in for the ride. I think.
No, exactly. No, that's a good thing.
It's Punk Hazard was really fun.
Oh my god, the fucking moment where like right before the bomb goes off, they have like a cart of apples, and like at the very last minute, one of the apples turns into a devil fruit. It's like, wait, what? And then that's not even what a smile looks like. You realize that like the thing he's doing is that the chemical he's making is eventually is what is turning. You don't learn about smiles in Punk Hazard, at least until like the end maybe. But like that moment of just like, oh, it turns into a devil fruit, I was like, wait, oh my god, you know what I mean? It was like, what was that? What the fuck was that? You know, it's awesome. But it's
so interesting. Like
even just like it's just really funny too. It's a really funny arc. Like although the body switching. Yeah,
the body switch. A lot of people hate on that shit. I thought the show was so funny. I enjoyed it a lot. It was ridiculous.
Because it's coming from a source of enjoyment of loving these characters and how they interact with each other. And so like when they switch bodies, they interact exactly how you expect them to.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I loved like Franky being in Chopper's body, and then Robin's like, Franky, stop talking. Don't ever talk again. Just shut up. Because she doesn't want to see Chopper that ugly. It's so funny. And then I have to put these little masks on them to let them know that their body. It made more sense in the anime. Like, it was easier to follow because the Shaybs could just switch bodies. But I imagine the manga was pretty difficult. Who's in what body?
No, it's definitely elevated by the anime just because the voices and everything. It was just I thought that part was pretty great. I just like the introduction of Smoker again. It's been a while.
His fight with Law was awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And then also fucking Law's fight with Virgo was even more awesome. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
No,
Fucking,
Law just really. I guess you're kind of figuring out why people love Law so much.
That's
'cause it's
no.
just,
The minute he fucking sliced Virgo, and he also sliced all. And it zooms out, and he's actually sliced all of the smile machines, and he also kind of sliced the entire mountain. It's like, he's really cool.
He's strong and cool.
He's so cool.
This is why people like him.
It really was.
I think I remember a couple podcasts ago you were like complaining about like all the people.
Everyone makes a big deal about Kid and Law.
Kid and Law, and you're like,
that's
not my straw hats.
I still don't know. I still don't know why people give a fuck about Kid. It's been through Dresrosa, and now it's Zoe. And is he gonna show up in Whole Cake? Maybe. Why would he show up in Whole Cake?
Well, Law's still the best. Law's still way better. He's
of course.
Oh, he's way better than Kid.
He actually has screen time. Like, it was very obvious that like Oda liked him as a character too. And I like this point I think that Roger's base, where he was like, look, it's not the Straw Hats' story anymore. It's not Luffy. I think of One Piece as the story of Law, as the story of these other guys. You know, there's other characters he's come to really deeply care about, the same way he on a similar level that he does the Straw Hats.
Yeah, it's like expanding and like at a rapid pace. Like you see Dresrosa, it just like Wano's like Dresrosa times like a million, I think, to be honest.
No, it seems like it, yeah.
It's which I think makes it a bit of a mess, but
Sure. I think that was what he was anticipating, because I was thinking that I was getting that vibe that like Zoe is more like the length he wanted or expected some of these arcs to go.
Yeah, Zoe's like the transitionary sort of arc.
It's so small. Well, it's so small it looks like a transitionary thing. But it's longer than all of the. I think it's longer than literally every single East Blue arc. Like we talked about how it's like over 20 episodes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and none of the maybe Arlong is over 20, maybe, but like fucking Baratier's like less than 20.
Damn.
Like the early arcs of One Piece are like literally Romance Dawn, Syrup, Baratier, Arlong, and Logetown combined are less than 60 episodes.
Holy shit.
And Dressrosa's like 150. Or something like that. It was something like that.
It's too much, yeah.
Well, even Punk Hazard's fucking 80 or something. I think it's... I don't know how longer it is compared to Skypiea. It might be longer. But
it
like,
might be.
He just kind of has this, like... something about it, and I do think this started with Marineford, to be honest with you. Or maybe even Enies Lobby.
It's the world has taken such a bigger focus, and that's...
Very good world, but also just he keeps getting ideas in the middle of writing the arc. And he's like, what if I put that? Oh, that would be cool. Oh, you know, he has all these ideas and he wants to execute all of them because this feels like it's his only shot. Like he fucking, there was a comment that he made, I don't know where he was like, someone was like, if you were to write a manga that wasn't One Piece, or maybe you would write something after One Piece, what would it be? And he said, well, for the longest time I wanted to do like a mecha type manga, like with one with like big robots. But then I wrote Franky, and now I don't have to do that. And it's like, yeah. So he said like, yeah, I pretty much just every idea I've ever had, it's just in One Piece. I would just write
that is insane.
I would just write more One Piece. Is basically what he's saying. And you can get that idea with how creative some of his stuff is with Dresrosa, with like the toy aspect and some of these like.
Yeah, there is so much going on in Dresrosa.
So much detail. Yeah.
There is so much. Well, there's just. I just really enjoy all the environments because like it's pretty distinguished. Like as you're going through the arc, like each character like group has their own like designated area they're supposed to go to, and they're all pretty unique to each other. Like they all end up in different sort of areas, and it's easy to tell where everyone is at certain points.
It's also hysterical that the whole thing happens in one day.
Yeah, it's funny that it all happens in one day.
At maybe like 10 a.m. Like it looks like it's not like early in the morning. It's like maybe 9 or 10 a.m. And they're there, and it's still daylight by the time they beat Doflamingo, and it's 5 p.m. or 6 p.m.
Yeah, it's like night.
That's
it's like evening.
Fucking heck of a day.
That is a crazy day.
Like, that's ridiculous. And then they sleep for like, similar to other arcs, they kind of sleep for 3 days.
Yeah, I love that. I love that aspect. They'll sleep for like days on end.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
It's similar to I think Water 7 Enies Lobby is kind of like that, because I think Water 7 itself takes 2-3 days, because there is a I like the deliberate passage of time, I really do. But then I talk about in my jump section that like I really like when arcs are long and they're all taking place in a contained amount of time. The Fourth Great Ninja War arc is 2 days, and then that night is half the arc.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's just like, oh my god, what a night, and it's like literally like they all pulled an all-nighter, and it's like the day breaks by the time the arc ends.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and the same thing with Bleach with the Arrancar saga. That all takes place in basically 1 day. Like, there's a couple of days of like preparing and trying to get Ichigo to control his hollow form for them to save Orihime, but the minute they go in there, it's from that all the way to beating Aizen. The entire thing is like basically 1 day.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't really tell in that scenario, because almost none of it takes place on Earth. It's in that skeletal realm, but then also when they emerge, they're actually in the Soul Society with the fake Karakuri town, and it just looks like they're battling over Ichigo's home, but it's really just like it's all in their domain basically. The same thing with Thousand Year Blood War. I'm pretty sure, I haven't seen it or read it, but I'm pretty sure the majority of it takes place like in the Soul Society area. And all of that, like, there's no passage of time basically. Or you know what? Actually, there technically is a passage of time. So fuck me, like whatever. But
fuck me. Well, yeah. I think it makes sense, because you're not just gonna like prolong a fight for days on end usually.
A fight,
like
yes, but you
or like just like an infiltration, like with Dresrosa, like they're going there for a reason. They're trying to take down Doflamingo. Like
right.
They have like a goal in mind.
Doflamingo's not going to let them stay.
Yeah,
in order
exactly.
To spend the night.
They have to get it done quickly.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Although it's like with Water 7, there's that. Yeah, they're exploring the town, and that takes up like the whole day almost.
Yeah,
and
it's more chill. Well, because
you see it's like sunset when Usopp breaks up with the crew, and he's like, we're gonna fight at sun. When you said like you're not gonna prolong a fight, that is a fight where they do prolong it.
They do prolong it.
He's like, meet me at midnight, and that's where he does all that preparation, and then the fight happens, and then it's the next day.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not that. I don't know if like his fight with Usopp happens, and then all of the infiltration stuff with like Iceberg's house, like Iceberg getting assassinated.
I think is that the same night?
I don't know. I don't remember if that's the same night or not. I don't think it is, because I don't think they met Franky at that point, or maybe they did.
No, they did. No, Usopp got beat up by Franky already.
Usopp got beat up by Franky, but in terms of like Luffy encountering Franky, was that the same day?
No, because Franky
Franky comes back.
Well, because Usopp goes to Franky after he gets beat up, and chills with Franky. I think it is the same night.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is the same night.
I feel like there's a day.
Well, because they're traveling for a day, because it to Enies Lobby. I think it's. I think that's all on the same night.
Yeah, they travel through. Yeah, all the train stuff, and then that's crazy.
That's a big night.
I feel like it's that's cool. But yeah, like the sort of passage of time can be interesting, but I do like when it's a contained period of time, for sure.
Mm-hmm. It makes it more. I don't know, just
you're in it. You're in the moment. Yeah, you're in it, and it's like you don't want to stop. That's like the bingeable aspect of it, right? And there's like it makes the reward feeling so much more satisfying when you get to those moments and that climactic part, like when Luffy and Law finally make it to the top of that mountain, and Dofi's like, let me just check. What are you guys here for? To kick your ass. Same here. Like I like that shit ton.
It's so good.
And then they stay there for kind of a while.
Yeah, they're kind of up there for quite a while.
Right. No, but and I get it with like Zoro fighting Pika. They kind of meet up too early, and their fight goes on way too long. It's very elongated, but it made sense.
It's way too prolonged.
Ultimately, I liked that fight because it's like a good matchup, I think. And it gets a really good moment with Zoro. Zoro looks so fucking cool.
Zoro, it wasn't even a challenge for Zoro.
But that's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, that's what's so cool.
I love that. He's not even fucking breaking his sweat. He's just like, I just have to get him. I can beat him. I'm not having a problem here. I'm not like, it's not like free time skip where literally every fight I am on the brink of death.
No, he is OP now. He is
right, as he should be, as he ought to be, and that's cool.
It's no, I really love Dresrosa and Punk Hazard. I know a lot of people. I think a lot of people fall off during Punk Hazard. I think just because of Fishman Island, just kind of burning them out. I think Punk Hazard just begins this Yonko sort of arc.
Yeah, it does.
Which is like the saga, which is just one of the.
It's incredible, right? It's a really great.
It's incredible. So it's
a good. It feels like a good pulled through line, of like them just going on a bit. It's not just them like exploring random islands.
Yeah.
But like maybe there's a loss of fun in that, perhaps because, what could be pulling you is that sense of adventure. I really liked when they get to Zoe.
It like
really
adventurous.
It feels kind of old fashioned of like like, oh shit, I want to explore this island a little bit, and I was like, whoa, there's these rain eruptions and these. There was one detail in like the anime, I don't know if it's in the manga or not, where they're just walking in this hallway of like the dog castle or something, and they're like, oh, these fruits, they emit light, and they're like, yeah. And that's it. They don't. They do that. They just point that out for like a sentence. And it doesn't.
Well, I don't think it's ever lost, like the fun, because that's the like
thing.
whole cake is kind of similar. In its beginning, you'll see.
For sure.
It's just, and even Wano, I think
Dresrosa is like that because it's like, all right, here's the things you need to watch out for. There's these toys. You can just leave them alone. They're fine. These fairies. Gotta watch out for the fairies, and dangerous women.
and dangerous women.
And they show like Violet. They show Violet, and the whole thing with Sanji was really great. As much as I missed him and Nami and Chopper and Brooke, as much as but like
Sanji still made an impact on the arc.
Made a good impact on it. That was really great. That was
like
shit.
Like Sanji's barely in it, but you still remember the stuff with Violet. Like
Violet, but also like the him saving the crew from Doflamingo. That was a crazy fucking stretch, where fucking like they realize that Doffy knows that they're there the whole time, and Doflamingo shows up on Greenbit with Law, and then Fujitori's right there. The whole thing happens.
Yeah, that's insane.
Dude, I swear to God, when I knew about that OP of like that there's a sequence in Wake Up where you see that that scene of Doffy, Fujitora, and Law, but they're on like these pillars, and it's like, whoa, that's a very OP thing to do. I didn't know it literally happened. I don't know that's how it literally happens, where like Fujitora picks this whole thing on top of them, and then all that's left is the little bits of sand that they're standing on, which doesn't make any physical sense, but it's still really fucking
It was so
cool.
Fucking cool. It's so
awesome.
Cool.
But then like Javi's like, oh shit, the Sunny's right over there. Doffy's just gonna hop over there. He's gonna fucking kill them. And then Sanji's, Violet tells him about it. So Sanji like skywalks and like intercepts him. And that moment of like, like the Chopper, like literally all the crybabies are on the ship, which is really funny. Like everyone besides Usopp. But like Brooke, Nami, and Chopper are all losing their shit at Doffy about to fucking kill them. And then Sanji saves them, and they're like, Sanji! Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
He's just I think Oda just loves him.
Yeah.
He gives him special treatment, bro. Compared to any other Straw Hat, like he
gets the good shit.
Because he's like one of the best characters. He is.
He is.
He is, man.
Fucking Zoro fans in the mud.
Zoro fans, they suck. I'm sorry, Zoro fans. You guys ain't getting it. You guys ain't getting that shit.
You know what? I get it with Zoro fans. They don't need much. The thing is, they're spoiled. I think it's just that like their character is so good, they don't realize that Oda is deliberately not giving him a whole lot because giving him too much is like too much. You know?
Yeah.
It's sort of just like the stakes kind of fall out the bottom if you give Zoro if you let Zoro have his will. You know, if you don't let him get lost. If you put him with the precise threats, he's gonna take care of things. He's the number 2 guy.
He's focused. He's strong.
He's the vice captain. He's the most reliable crew member, and the most loyal and everything. Which is why I had this idea about the Cross Guild, and I know I wanted to talk about Cross Guild a little bit because because the latest chapter thing.
So interesting. Dude, I was like. It's so good. The Cross Guild thing is
I'm pretty
is
happy
very
about it.
It's such a great thing Oda did.
Yeah, it's like of course
it would be
they're
something
gonna
like this.
this is gonna happen, right? And it also kind of like plays into that theory I was thinking about the last podcast. This idea of like with the 4 Yonkos, how is Oda gonna handle this? I may have cut off myself with the Elbath thing. I'm expecting with this final arc that what he's going to do is, the islands are going to be the kind of the ones that we've been meaning to go to, like Elbath and Laugh-Tale, right?
Yeah.
But they're going to be merely the settings for these big confrontations that he needs to happen. So, I feel like Luffy does need to face Blackbeard. His strawhats as a crew need to face Blackbeard as a crew, right? But at the same time, I do think Shanks's crew needs to face Straw Hats as a crew, because one of the thing in chapter 1, right, and this has been flashed back to a couple of times, and I've read volume 1, he's saying that Luffy was saying that he's going to be a better pirate than Shanks, and then Shanks is like, oh yeah, oh you think you can be better than us? And so like the conflict is like when he finally meets Shanks, what do you think is going to happen? What is he gonna they're gonna just be friends? Sure. I think there has to be some amount of cordiality because Shanks's crew aren't monsters, or evil or whatever. As we haven't been shown that, but they're in their way. Like Luffy not backing down to Fujitora after the time skip, and that was the first instance where like he really runs up against. It's funny he didn't say that with Doflamingo. It felt like he is going to beat Doflamingo, but against Fujitora, it's like, no, dude, you gotta get out of here. And he's like, I can't run away anymore, because if I have to become king of the pirates, I have to beat everyone.
Yeah.
I have to overcome the admiral. I can't just like.
I have to overcome these obstacles. Like it's just
what's in their way, and Shanks is in his way. He can't be the king of the pirates.
Shanks
and
is
also
in his way.
be constantly have Shanks looking up to Shanks the way he always has, right? And Cat trying to chase after him. He has to beat him. So and I think Shanks knows that, and I think that's why he is avoiding Luffy until the time is right. Because I think the next time it's sort of that thing where it's like, oh, next time I see you, I'm killing you, or whatever. It's like that. It's sort of an inherent promise.
It's this weird dichotomy because Shanks wants to get the One Piece too, man.
Of course he does.
Shanks wants to get the One Piece too.
I think he knows what it is.
I think he knows what it is.
Because
he was on the cruise.
He was there. He saw it. At least
does Buggy know too? Then
I don't actually know because I haven't seen the full thing, right? I haven't seen the full flashback or whatever. But like maybe they joined after they found it, and they kind of joined like on Roger's way back. But that wouldn't make sense. That'd be weird.
It could be. I don't know because we don't know the full picture of that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I feel like if Shanks was like,
or maybe that's why Shanks wants it, is because he's been told about it.
But he doesn't know. Or like
the will of D and stuff, right? Because he's not a D, right? We don't know.
We don't know yet.
We don't know if he's a Shanks yet. If he's a D.
Shanks D Luffy or something. I don't know.
Monkey D Shanks.
Monkey D Shanks. That would be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, yikes. No, but
Oh, he's Dragon's brother. Oh my god.
Yeah, like it's been his uncle the whole time.
It's his uncle the whole time. That's why he liked him, bro. Oh my god.
Maybe that'd be kind of cool.
Cool uncle.
Uncle, I would accept. I would actually accept uncle.
He does seem like a
his,
cool uncle.
His funky uncle, you know what I mean?
Cool ass uncle.
That's kind of cool. I wouldn't mind that. But anyway, yeah, like he has to face Shanks in a physical fight.
Yeah, I think that does have to happen in some aspect.
Right?
I don't know how he would do it though, because it has to be this.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's
some disagreement has to occur, or some.
No, I'm expecting that. Like, I don't know about Laugh-Tale, but like, because I would feel like in order to make Blackbeard kind of the final boss of the thing, or close to a final boss, I would hope that it's like they both get to Laugh-Tale at the same time, and it's a race.
Like all of them. Yeah.
It's you know what I mean? But all 4 of them, yes, that would be even better.
All 4 Yonko, that would make I think that would.
Yeah, that would right.
Make more sense to have all of them fight without having it just Luffy and Shanks to make it kind of weird.
Yeah, it wouldn't be just them, but it's sort of just like that crew needs to. That was why that theory I had way back when, where how do you have all 4 of them fight each other? I think the kind of the thing that's appealing to us, right, is this cross guild. They got Crocodile and Mihawk together with Buggy. That's exciting.
It's really exciting, yeah. It's these big figures who have like been part of the story.
It's like magnets clicking together. It's like a bunch of magnets that are like all like they're sprawled on a floor, and then one of them gets too close, and that creates this big chain reaction, and a bunch of magnets get close together. Mm-hmm. It's really satisfying, and so that's why I'm thinking that just like Buggy and Luffy teaming up, having to team up, because Shanks and Blackbeard do this very unthinkable thing of teaming up, and it does seem weird because they don't seem like they're seeing eye to eye, but it's the same way that like I bet Kaido and Big Mom didn't really see eye to eye. You know, they don't agree on everything, but they're still forming an alliance because they have this certain whatever. You know, that's I feel like an alliance would be, and not so much like one person's joining the other person's crew or something. But I imagine it's something where, like, you know, Shanks is not completely on Blackbeard's side, obviously. But it makes sense because I wouldn't want it to be Shanks and Luffy's crew. And I wouldn't want it to be Luffy and Blackbeard. But then, the reason I'm bringing this up again is because now that with this cross guild, if Buggy and Luffy were on the same team, that means Mihawk and Zoro are on the same side. And this causes a bit of a conflict for Zoro, because his whole goal is to become the greatest swordsman, which is Mihawk. Who is Mihawk? And we still haven't gotten an answer to why his eye got taken out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think this could be the one unique, interesting moment where Zoro kind of like turns against Luffy a little bit, not like as a reveal, like a traitor, not like that shitty One Piece take that we read a couple not like that. But he said, if you ever get in my way of becoming the greatest swordsman, it's off. You know, it's like I'll make you commit harakiri. As the manga, the volume says, I'll make you commit harakiri. He's like, I'll fucking get you or whatever. And Luffy's like, yeah, that's fine. So Zoro has been the most loyal, ride or die, reliable crewmate in the entire show, easily.
Yeah.
He has not a single time, and he has threatened it in Ennie's lobby when he talked about Usopp. But literally, besides like Chopper, I don't think ever really did a big betrayal thing. Franky didn't either, but at least
Franky was hesitant to join.
But he's been hesitant to join, and he was a villain for a while. You know, he had also kind of whatever. And then Brook is kind of like, you know, Brook's also fine. Brook's also okay.
Brook's chilling.
You know what I mean? But in terms of but Brook also has that energy of like the guy who joined late.
He does have that energy, and it just
you know
it can't really go away.
Later,
he joined,
of course.
He joined later, but you still love him.
Of course, he's part of it.
There's still something so
that doesn't make him
nice
any less of a character at all. But like, there's still that vibe.
Because he still has that
dude.
dream, you know?
Zoro has been with Luffy pretty much since the beginning, you know. And if that happens and it kind of clicks in that way, because I can't see, because fucking Roger was like talking about the Cross Guild. He's like, "Whoa, that'd be kind of cool." Of like, this means that Zoro can fight Mihawk, and then Crocodile can fight Sanji, I guess, and then Luffy will just beat Buggy again. I'm like, that sounds so stupid, dude. That sounds so
Why would
lame.
Luffy fight
Why would
Buggy?
Luffy fight Buggy
sucks.
again? That's the big thing with fucking shonen, like battle thing. Like, again is not a thing, unless even if it's like, unless it's like a rivalry, unless it's Goku versus Vegeta, unless it's Naruto versus Sasuke.
I was about to say Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball it always does again. They do it again and again and again.
Kind of, yeah. But like in terms of the original Dragon Ball run, like Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, they're really good at like. Once Goku and Piccolo have had their fight in that World Martial Arts tournament, there's never another moment like that.
Well, they were fighting like Dr. Gero's like androids like for so long, like since early Dragon Ball, like there was like so many androids that came up. Like there was Android 8, and then there was like the androids during the Red Ribbon Army.
But they're different androids. It's not the same android.
But it's the same guy making.
It's not like
it's the same guy making all the androids.
This would literally be the equivalent. This would literally be the equivalent of like Goku versus the pterodactyl in the first chapter of Dragon Ball. No, I guess not that bad, but like.
Well, it's just coming from the same guy, is what I mean, because he's creating all the androids, and that's.
Sure. Gero we didn't really know about until the Android Saga.
Yeah, it's just he was behind it, so
it's not really the same thing.
It's not the same thing,
but also the androids. Just because Gero created them, there's a very deliberate like we are not your subjects. Fuck off and die. And
that's what came of it. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so they're their own characters still.
Yeah.
But
it isn't until like the
have
super.
You ever has Goku fought Cell again?
There was in the new movie. I don't know if you care about spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
There's
he just
like
show up. Yeah.
Well, he doesn't. They create like a new cell, and it's like it's the lamest shit ever. But it's called Cell Max, and it's like a ginormous version of Cell of his second form, which is like this ugliest
but at least,
form.
Yeah.
I'm like second form, ugly, fat Cell. Like that's the. But he just like isn't.
I just
Cell.
feel like
he's
I just feel
screaming
like shonen
and shit.
in general. I think most shonen does a really, really good job at not being repetitive. I shouldn't say repetitive because some of it can be repetitive. But like
the formula is like
and the formula is what it is.
In
right?
nature is repetitive.
But they're not like but they're not the same enemy,
Yeah.
and there's different nuances to it, right?
It's
a good shonen at least would do that.
Yeah, I can see it just being more complicated. Like I see your team up sort of theory. I think it can make a lot of sense. I think a free for all is way more
could work. Yeah, it could still happen.
Makes way more sense.
Sure.
Just like because I don't know what context Shanks or Blackbeard would team up.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't it suck if Shanks and Blackbeard fought and one of them won, and Luffy doesn't get to fight one of them? Like, what if Shanks gets taken out by Blackbeard?
Yeah.
What if Blackbeard gets taken out by Shanks?
Well, Blackbeard's is kind of taking out someone close to Luffy.
To Luffy,
before,
I guess
so I guess what makes sense. It's kind of that.
Wait, Whitebeard? You mean? Or Ace? I guess.
Ace.
Technically, though, Blackbeard was not the one to take out Ace. Because the thing is, right?
He kind of captured
this final
him,
war. What I was saying earlier about like Elbaf being a setting for one of these isolated conflicts, they still have to figure out this Marine shit. I don't know if I guess maybe you have the Revolutionary Army and the Marines basically fight each other, and that's a whole isolated thing. But I fear it's going to be one of those. I not fear, I guess. I wouldn't mind if this was the case, but maybe some One Piece fans wouldn't like this. But I imagine it might be a case where it's just one of those things that you hear about and you don't actually get to see.
Like the Revolutionaries.
If the Revolutionaries and the Marines have a big fight, you're not going to see most of it.
Well, with the most recent chapter, I don't know. Have you been reading it?
I didn't read 59. I don't.
I mean 58.
58. I did.
Yeah. 50, just with the Sabo stuff.
I do like that they are actually doing something with it.
I can because that whole thing was off screen too. Yeah. I can definitely see the conflict being like documented in the story if they are on the same island as the Straw Hats. But these sort of like isolated incidents don't happen too often where they actually like show like like a sort of fight. Like the only one I can like from memory is the Blackbeard and Ace fight.
Blackbeard and Ace is the only one where it was completely isolated, but they showed most of it. They showed most of it. They didn't show all of it.
I can see something like that happening with Sabo, but just the recent fact that they didn't show what happened at the Reverie with Sabo, I think just kind of shows that they probably will keep it off screen. But you know, I'm hoping. I would like to see Sabo fight some more.
That's the thing, right? I feel like fans are going to get themselves disappointed when it's going to be one of those things where it's like, I want to see this and this, or off screen, quote unquote. But it's like you realize that that's not, you know, fucking Ace versus Blackbeard is an important point, but it's important just for context because of what was going to happen to Luffy later.
Yes.
You know, a lot of the whole of his arrest and all of that, him being on trial, you know, getting involved in all that shit, all of it is very in the background. But what's important is how Luffy reacts to it. You know, it's Luffy's story, it's the Straw Hat's story. So it's really going to be like anything that they're not there for, yeah, it has to be put in the background. It would be weird if it wasn't. Because it's like, wait, where's Luffy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck is Luffy?
Yeah, especially because that Shonen Jump thing, right? You're opening at the magazine and you're flipping to what's going on with One Piece these days? And you look at the whole chapter and there's no Luffy. So what the fuck's going on?
What happened? Where's like
this?
Any of the Straw Hats even?
Right.
Like that,
yeah,
it would feel weird. It would feel wrong. But
right.
I can definitely see like a certain, like maybe like a chance encounter.
Maybe something.
Maybe Sabo. I don't know. It's because
sure.
I don't even know.
I think
it's hard to tell.
I think that could be the thing. And then it was also like you know, when they said with the formation of these 7 captains of Luffy's fleet, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. It's like no one knew at the time that they would be causing a very international incident. And it's like, oh, I wonder when he's going to pull that trigger.
Very exciting. It's I'm waiting for, I'm like every arc I'm like my friends, I'm like, okay, they're going to show up here. This shit's Bartolomeo's going to pull up and it's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm just waiting.
I thought they showed up in Wano because of all the ships that raid Onigashima. But I think it makes sense because I haven't seen Bart or any of those characters show up in Wano.
I say nothing to Shabe.
Okay, that's good.
I no spoil for Shabe.
That'd be great.
But yeah, it's just waiting for him to really show all of his cards is what keeps me enthralled. And I need to see this new chapter because I keep going on Twitter and on the side it says One Piece 1059 and then I'm like, is it out yet? Is it out yet? And then it's not out yet. And then I can't.
It's because people use the hashtag to just be like, "Hey, don't look at my tweets because they might have some spoilers," even though it has nothing to do with the latest chapter. And it's like, what do you expect me to fucking mute every time there's a hashtag? Every time there's a chapter, I have to mute hashtag One Piece this chapter. Seriously, every time.
Yeah, Twitter's an evil place, and so are One Piece fans. At the end of the day.
Oh yeah, did you? I think I touched upon this a little bit, but just like this whole thing of like who joins the crew and not and everything. You know, rip Carrot fans. I feel sorry.
Yeah, the
for
Carrot
you guys.
fans, dude. I feel like the Carrot fans had it coming. Like Carrot hasn't done anything in a while. Like it kind of makes sense. Like their dreams kind of died a while ago.
And once again, how involved was she really with all of the Straw Hats? Like,
You'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure she sticks around, obviously. But
no,
like
Carrot is pretty important.
Even in Zoe, it's like she's a total background character.
Carrot is pretty important.
Zoe.
She becomes pretty like integral to the story.
It's it might be another thing like Bartolomeo, right? Where she shows up and that's a character as well as these other characters. But then people really like her for whatever reason, like design, the fan art, popularity poll, something.
Yeah.
And Oda catches on to that and he's like, okay, I'll keep her around. You know, and then develops it a little bit more.
Like Carrot in I don't want to spoil anything, but I was like she could definitely join. Like it felt like it.
I get the vibe of it too.
It felt like it, and I thought it was, but it was like no. And then we were getting like the Jinbei shit, bro. I'm weirded. Like I'm weird. I still don't. It still doesn't feel like he's part of the crew.
Yeah.
Even though he's on their ship.
That.
He's on their ship. He's with them. He is a part of the crew. It just like, I just don't feel he had that
unifying,
dream.
He's a missing piece.
That dream, like what is his dream? Is it to like, I guess it's to like unify like Fishman with like, is that his dream? Like to unify Fishman with like the rest of the world, to not.
I think what really works for him that convinces me that he belongs is his care for Luffy specifically. Like,
no, I totally get that.
Like, he had definitely saved Luffy's ass multiple ways. He's like the one who reminded Luffy of his crew. Like that moment of him, he's like, "I have my crew." Like that's Jinbei, who did that.
I just like what unified the crew for me is I always think back to the moment they're about to go on the Grand Line and they're all like slamming the barrel and they're all screaming their dreams.
Yeah.
And that's what every character they pick up on, that's what they get. They're a person with like an ambitious ass dream trying to go on this amazing adventure. And I don't feel that with Jinbei. I feel like he's old and like I think he believes in Luffy. He wants Luffy to be the Pirate King, and I really like him.
He is loyal. I get that. Yeah.
He's loyal, but I don't feel that he has some grand ambition like the rest of the characters.
The things you were saying with like every single character has that thing. I don't think of one for Chopper.
Well, isn't Chopper's to like cure all illnesses or something? I think it's
no.
What?
No, I don't think he has that. Maybe
he definitely has.
Like wants to
he has
something.
something. It's something having to do with that.
And it may have been a one-off thing, like something he said in the flashback to the doctor guy. I don't remember his name, like his flashback tragic character equivalent. But like his thing with joining the crew, his motivation.
His dream is to. I'm looking at the One Piece wiki. His dream is to one day become a doctor capable of curing any illness.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's his dream.
Gotcha. And so that's fair. I would say that Jinbei has a very similar dream that like doesn't, that is a dream, I guess. But it's less so what their personal dream is, because I think I've said this before. I don't remember. But what I said this in my Jump piece, because like this whole thing of like Naruto wanting to become the Hokage, very similar to like Luffy being king of the pirates. It's a lot of fans consider it a really bad cliche, but it's really not as much of a cliche as people realize. It might be more of a cliche now, like since like post Naruto, but up until that point, the only other ones that kind of have something like that are these titles that are more sports oriented, that usually the title has to be won in a game or a tournament.
Yeah,
like the martial arts,
is to win.
The winner of the martial arts tournament, the King of Games, which is won through tournaments, which is like Shaman King is done through a tournament. But like that's it. There's other ones that are just more sports things. They're just like a title or belt. And the reason, and I explain why that's such a good trope to use and like why it's actually effective and everything. But one of the points I make is that like, being very super goal oriented, if that was the case, then like it would be a big criticism of One Piece to be like, oh, why isn't Sanji looking for the all blue, right? Why isn't Nami spending any time actually making the big maps that she's always wanted to make or whatever? Because it's not about that. It's like, it's just the fact that they have an ambition and a goal.
That's what I mean.
That's the point, And
that's so it's all unifying them, and that
so
they are dreamers. I think that's what I was trying to get at, is that they're all trying to go on this crazy adventure.
But what I'm getting at is that like it is a unifying thing, and I'd say Jinbei does fit into that, albeit not in as strong of a way as you would prefer, as other characters are. But I would say that that's not necessarily what makes them a crew member. Because there are other characters that have ambitions and dreams and goals and everything, but they don't join the crew for whatever reason. Even ones that are really close to Luffy's crew, like Vivi or something. Mm-hmm. I feel like what ends up kind of qualifying them with the reason is like they're filling a role. Sanji's the cook, Nami's the like they need Chopper there,
He's a
or
doctor.
they run into this problem that they did before they met Chopper, where Nami almost died. And I feel like I don't really know the full description with Jinbei. I'm not that far down yet, but I do think with Jinbei and what my hope would be potentially as helmsman, he could probably be the one that keeps everybody together. Because one of the problems you could call I like it as a dramatic device and it's fun, but kind of one of their problems as a crew is that they don't stick together. It's really hard for them to go. It's very easy for each of them to get lost or get kind of split apart and everything. Luffy is the leader, but he's usually the one that gets split off, and he just like jumps off and
he goes on.
He's driving forward, but that's ultimately that's a part of their success, and that's a good it's worked out for them, but it's also caused them a lot of trouble. There's this whole because they've been set up, they're split up, there's these situations that they run into, like Water 7, where there's some miscommunications. There's this really cool miscommunication of like Usopp losing the money, and he feels like he can't face the crew anymore, and so he goes off on his own to get to fight Franky and get it back, and he gets his ass kicked, and then he's unconscious for when the Straw Hats roll up and defend and take revenge for him. They really protect their boy. That's a great moment. He's unconscious for it, so he feels like he doesn't have a place, but if he knew that they had his back like that, I feel like none of that miscommunication, him leaving the crew, none of that would have happened, I think. But then same thing with like other crewmates leaving the crew almost, or just like all the general times that they get lost.
It's that why I guess he's like that wise sort of like, because he has a lot of experience.
He's the anchor, he's the one that could be like, guys, no, keep together, and like actually stick, hopefully, because he's a lot more level-headed, as you see with his argument with Luffy at
with
Fishman.
Luffy,
he has that like really he's actually one who's willing to really argue with him. Like Usopp obviously argues with him in Water 7, but that's after like being on the verge of quitting, right? But like a lot of them are incredibly loyal and love Luffy. And Jinbei also loves Luffy, but he's also willing to snap him out of it. Like when Luffy's in this big despairing, self-harming almost moment of him like despairing over Ace, he's willing to be really hard on Luffy and being like yelling at him and like, what do you have? And reminding him of that moment. So I think I would like to hope, and again, like he hasn't. You're right. I think he needs that Skypiea moment, right? You remember when like Robin says like, "Hey, let me join your crew," and he's just like, "Sure," and everyone's like,
she's just kind of there.
What the fuck, right? And I remember that as a viewer feeling the same way, and it's like,
it's
how
weird.
is she just gonna join? But then the one that episode she joins, or maybe the episode after, they give her a little thing for every crew member of like her dynamic with them, and it's like, oh, she's a good fit. Oh, even though she doesn't necessarily, oh, she's our archaeologist. The fuck do you need an archaeologist for on a cruise on a pirate ship?
Well, you need the poneglyphs. That's
the thing she ends up rolling. Yeah. She's probably going to be why they find the One Piece at all. Ultimately, which is a huge role, and but then the fact that she gets something for each one that's kind of different. I love how like Nami is the most against it, and then she like brings up money or something, and she's like, "Nesama!"
Like completely starts vibing with her.
Completely like flips the tables. It's so funny. I feel like you just need more of those moments with Jinbei. And
I think you're right. Because you don't like fully feel like Robin's a part of the crew until
she's on it a little more. Like and even Skypiea. I feel like Skypiea does a good job because you realize how she kind of fits differently, and she's like, oh, this is kind of a cool member. It's exciting. It's especially exciting. It's especially exciting at that point because this crew is still not super big. But like once the crew once it gets to Brook, it's like, okay, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of these motherfuckers.
There's kind of 9 of them, actually. Jeez. And, it starts to be a little overwhelming almost, even for Oda, which is why I think he separates them, right?
To give more time.
explore all those different aspects. Like, you wouldn't have been able to have introduced all those things at once if you didn't have them. Oh, he's over here, they're over here, and they find that thing, and that makes sense. But it's so, like, I don't know. I think that would be something I would hope in terms of, like, maybe what Jinbei could add. But I do like him as the one of the more sensible people. Like,
the kind of voice of reason that's more active.
That also doesn't. Like, Nami's a voice of reason, and
Nami's she's a chaotic voice of reason. She's like.
She's a corruptible voice of reason.
Yeah, and I feel like Robin is sort of also a voice of reason, but she just is kind of absent a lot. She doesn't care. She likes the antics. Like she
likes the chaos, right? And
she likes it.
She's one of those characters that when they get to Punk Hazard and it's super hazardous and scary, she's like, "Oh, that'd be great. Let's go."
Yeah, she is. She's
like
in for the ride.
She's so happy to be there.
Yeah,
and
she's just happy to be there. So it's
right.
It's they're kind of lacking that voice of reason a lot of
it's funny, like, they all do have a voice of reason one way or another. It's just they have their character flaw or something about them that, like,
that is chaos.
Yeah,
that is like a switch that is flipped that makes them go crazy. Like Zoro has it, Sanji has it,
Chopper has
Franky,
it,
Chopper, Usopp.
Yeah. Right.
Even Brooke, like they all got
Brooke
it.
Brooke could be pretty sharp, actually. Like, really, there was a moment in Zoe where he comes in and he's like, okay, "We need to talk to you about Sanji," and he, like, gets the whole crew together. He's like, "Look, don't say anything about ninjas or samurai, anything like that. That they are going to be very upset with us." And, like, that's really cool. I'm happy. He's technically older than Jinbei, right?
Yeah, he's like 88 or some shit. He's so old.
Right, but he's also, like, really goofy and like eccentric. And but then, like, right after that, I thought he was going to be the one that tells them everything that happened with Sanji and everything. But then, like, the dog, like, it turns out the dogs have a thing for him and they like biting him. He's like, which is so funny because he's the one that always brings up that he's a skeleton and, like, takes pride in it almost. And and gets, I think he got offended at the dragon for not taking an interest in him because he's like, they should calcium, right?
It's good calcium.
But then, like, he gets, like, overwhelmed. He's like, "Oh, enough already," because, like, they start chewing on him. It's so funny. But yeah, like, I feel like Jinbei, and that might be another reason why it's harder to get interested in him, because he doesn't have that, like, funny thing. He's not really a funny character.
I think that's it.
He doesn't have any of those eccentric qualities that give him, like, fleshed out, well-rounded thing.
It's like
he's just a really
that
swell,
aspect
smart,
to sell it. Yeah,
capable, perfect guy, kind of. Like, because even with perfect, like,
even with a character like Law, who isn't a funny character, he still has, like, these sort of quirks when he's, like, traveling with them. Just like his pure seriousness kind of comes out. Like I remember, like, the bread moment when he's like, "I love bread." He just exclaims this, like, love for something, and he just says it in such an earnest and serious way.
The thing that endears you to him. Yeah.
It endears you to him. Like, I think there's just, like, a matter of time for Jinbei. I think he just has to be in the story more. It just felt weird because they prolonged his joining for so long.
Yeah, and I can imagine after so many years, it feels like it's never going to happen. And it was like, that's just a silly thing that Luffy asked, and he wasn't serious about, but he was.
No, there was a time a couple years ago that I was, like, literally certain he wasn't gonna join. Like, I was like years ago, I was like, this is not happening. There's no way this shit's happening. But it did. So I don't know. It's we're just kind of chilling. We're chilling. I don't know.
Nice
I have fun
time
with this. So yeah, if you guys like us talking about One Piece, just comment other maybe topics or characters you want us to discuss, so we could just give our thoughts on them. Maybe theories.
It was a thing we wanted to do.
It could be fun.
Of going through all of the
SBS shit.
The SBS, like the all the author comments and the like the Jump. I don't know if there's a catalog of that.
Let's do that. Let's do that next time. Let's do that.
Yeah, if we recall. But
if we recall. All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good time, fellas.
Bye, pirates.
You know what? The reason why we don't have we have a hard time ending these is because I've always found, like, good ways to cut it, and then this one is just very like.
This one's kind of weird.
Yeah, like and subscribe.